you could accept the fact that this city is headed for a disaster of biblical proportion.
What do you mean, biblical?
What he means is Old Testament, Mr. Mayor. Real wrath of God type stuff.
Exactly.
Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies. Rivers and seas boiling.
40 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes.
The dead rising from the grave. Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
We've even seen a referee 2 feet from the play on the sideline staring at the guy trying to catch the ball, staring at where his feet are, and still calls him out.
Get ready for 2 hours of hard-hitting football talk from two men in the know. It's Football on the Know with Jim and Joe.
Drew Brees is a Hall of Famer, absolutely, and showing that he could possibly be the GOAT.
All right, but I gotta say something about the New England Patriots here. The Patriots kept coming out and saying before the Super Bowl even happened, they kept saying, "Oh, well, everybody's against us." Bullshit.
What they say, it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Football on the Know. I am Jim McPhee, and alongside of me is Mr. Joe DeCapita.
What's going on, know-it-alls? Welcome back for another edition of Football on the Know Show. We're ready to kick this thing in high gear, ready to talk some more football. There's a lot of things happening right now. We're getting closer and closer every single week. We get closer to that regular season. Just can't wait to see what our teams are going to do this coming season.
Yeah.
Well, let's go.
Look at all the headlines coming out of the even preseason and stuff. I mean, it's only preseason, so I mean,
It's only preseason, and it's only going to get worse.
yeah. I mean, and you've got the what do we do it every season? It's funny,
Yeah.
like the overreactions,
Yes.
and things like that, and how people
Happens
are
every
doing.
year.
You've got Jimmy G again. His first time
no.
back after an injury,
Oh.
and he's not playing well.
What? It was his first time playing?
Well, he had 5 interceptions in
Oh
practice.
my God! Oh no!
And
Let's hit
and
the
then
panic
also
button.
he also threw the interception in the preseason game too.
I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game,
Right.
not a game,
No. Well,
not a game.
but, yeah.
We talking about practice.
Yeah,
Right.
well, yeah, and he's
Right.
coming off the injury, and what the problem is too is people overhyped him, I think, too, because of the winning streak that he had playing in, helping the 49ers, and yes, he could still be a good quarterback.
I mean-
but and now he's like not playing well, so they're freaking out.
But
you
that
know,
was
look
when he
what
was
happened
healthy.
With, yeah,
But that
right.
was when he was
Yeah,
healthy.
Yeah.
That was when he didn't have a leg injury, correct?
Yeah.
I mean,
and then
I'm just saying.
we saw it with Andrew Luck, and now look where the Colts are, and
Everybody,
everybody's in love with them.
everybody
now,
needs
so.
to really chill
needs
on
to
the whole
chill.
Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, his first time back, did he have an abysmal outing? Absolutely. It's not common to ever see that happen ever again. But here's the thing, he's got to be mentally thinking about that injury. He had guys flying around his legs because, to be quite honest, the 49ers didn't do well in protection. It seemed to me like the whole offensive line, the protection calls that were being called were just terrible. They weren't getting the job done up front, so it made him really uncomfortable, and he struggled throughout the preseason game. And it's only his first time back, so let's see what he does the following week. If he improves, then everybody, there's no reason to worry about Jimmy G. We've seen what he can do.
Yeah.
After he gets over the mental hurdle of that injury, you're going to see the old Jimmy G return once again.
Oh, yeah. So we've got a great show lined up for you guys. A lot of things on the horizon coming up. The season, like you said, starting. I'm working on a new intro we're going to be doing with our new logo we are going to have. So we are going to be laying out a new logo in a few weeks. So look forward to that. And also, we'll be streaming on a 24/7 football channel pretty soon, too. So a lot of news coming up. Football season's going to start up. We might be on Channel 6, too, coming up. We're working out issues with that, trying to get things together. And nip it in the bud. And we also, yesterday, I had the pleasure to talk to Tom Gozlowski from 104.5
Yes,
The
you
Team.
did.
Again, we had a little alone time. See, Joe was not here for it.
Unfortunately,
He
I
couldn't
couldn't
make
make
it.
it.
We have other things to do in our lives than this show, but we try to do our best to be on here. I know I couldn't make it the one time, and Joe held down the whole show here.
Kind
But,
of.
Yeah,
Kind of.
He did. He held it down. You know how he did it. And yeah, so we're going to play that interview in just a little bit. I just want to give a shout-out to Mike Tackett. I don't know if he's listening to us right now or watching, but he dethroned Hollywood Gaming, now Swervo Gaming, so far.
Give me the DJ
right
horn.
there, the DJ horn. I got to find it here. So I'm not laying on it. Oh, man. Here we go. So, yeah, Mike Tackett comes in and takes out Swervo Gaming here after a 5-week streak for the show MVP. So Mike Tackett back in here. He's a two-timer now. He's the second time getting it in here. So at the end of the season, like a week after the Super Bowl, we will be giving away a prize. So keep commenting, checking in, share, like the post, bring friends to our group, and you could be the show MVP.
And before we get into the interview, I just want to do a shout out as well as to all the YouTubers out there. Thank you for the support. We're also on Facebook. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, Periscope. Those are the three platforms that we're streaming from live right now. And just want to say thank you to all the know-it-alls out there that are viewing or are going to be viewing in the future, for that matter.
Absolutely. So like I said, I had the opportunity to talk to Tom Kozlowski from 104.5 The Team, ESPN Radio, our local affiliate. And this is how that went. All right, joining us on the line from 104.5 The Team, ESPN Radio, it's Tom Kozlowski. Goz, what's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm good, man. Long time no chat. Happy to be back on the podcast with you. Football is just around the corner.
Oh, exactly. We're super excited. I know we're always trying to get around Super Bowl time, but I know things are busy. You guys are always traveling. You're going to the big game, and things are hectic. But hey, we love having you on here. We always have a good time. How's your buddy Levac holding up with the whole AB business going on with the helmet and the feet and all this stuff going around the Raiders? Is he about to lose his mind?
Yes. He's sick of the nonsense involving AB. He just wants him to be on the team and just be normal. I know that seems like a weird thing to say now, but I think that's the point of that now. Can you just be normal, please? I get it's the Raiders, and they got the attitude, the swag. They do things their own way. They're the renegades. They live up to their name being Raiders. But, yes, he's sick of the AB stuff. He just wants him on the field week one, hoping to beat teams like the Chiefs, the Broncos, and the Chargers. But, yes, for Raider fans like Levac, it is driving him absolutely insane.
And it's funny because a lot of people maybe were flipping out because, you know, they're going to be a Hard Knocks too. Wasn't sure what's going to go on. You have Vontez Burfict. You have Richie Incognito. And really, it's been kind of really low level. And people are kind of bored with it already just because they haven't had the A. All right, joining us on the line from 104.5 The Team, ESPN Radio, it's Tom Kozlowski. Goz, what's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm good, man. Long time no chat. Happy to be back on the podcast with you. Football is just around the corner.
Oh, exactly. We're super excited. I know we're always trying to get you around Super Bowl time, but I know things are busy. You guys are always traveling. You're going to the big game, and things are hectic. But hey, we love having you on here. We always have a good time. How's your buddy Levac holding up with the whole AB business going on with the helmet and the feet and all this stuff going around the Raiders? Is he about to lose his mind? All right, joining us on the line from 104.5 The Team, ESPN Radio, it's Tom Kozlowski. Goz, what's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm good, man. Long time no chat. Happy to be back on the podcast with you. Football is just around the corner.
Oh, exactly. We're super excited. I know we're always trying to get you around Super Bowl time, but I know things are busy. You guys are always traveling. You're going to the big game, and things are hectic. But hey, we love having you on here. We always have a good time. How's your buddy Levac holding up with the whole AB business going on with the helmet and the feet and all this stuff going around the Raiders? Is he about to lose his mind?
Yes. He's sick of the nonsense involving AB. He just wants him to be on the team and just be normal. I know that seems like a weird thing to say now, but I think that's the point of that now. Can you just be normal, please? I get it's the Raiders, and they got the attitude, the swag. They do things their own way. They're the renegades. They live up to their name being Raiders. But, yes, he's sick of the AB stuff. He just wants him on the field week one, hoping to beat teams like the Chiefs, the Broncos, and the Chargers. But yes, for Raider fans like Levac, it is driving them absolutely insane.
And it's funny because a lot of people maybe were flipping out because, they're going to be a Hard Knocks 2. Wasn't sure what's going to go on. You have Vontez Burfict. You have Richie Incognito. And really, it's been kind of really low level, and people are kind of bored with it already just because they haven't had the AB news and all that craziness. It's kind of ironic in the whole deal.
Yeah, it's strange because it's up to – there's been some reports that the head coach has the final cut on what hits the air on HBO. That's been the rumor the last couple of weeks. Now, if Gruden doesn't want to put the X's and O's, and we don't want to see Gruden talking about his new version of Spider 2, Y Banana, I totally get that. Like, if you want the cameras out of the X's and O's in offensive and defensive schemes, fine. But when we're talking about everybody in the country knows about Antonio Brown and all the headlines in Raiders camp and everything, that's what people are tuning in to see. That's why Hard Knocks was so exciting to have that. I think episode 3 is scheduled there Tuesday night. We'll see if maybe they add more to that season. But I know a lot of people, like you just said, were very disappointed about episode 2 because this has been not just talk of Hard Knocks, it's been the talk of the NFL training camp season been the Raiders and AB.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And what do you think he might be? Like, I've heard different rumors about it. Like, maybe he just doesn't want to show up for training camp. He figured he's earned it where he doesn't need to be there. Do you think maybe some of it is that, or just really it is truly just a helmet issue?
I think he is crazy. Loco, different. I'll go with different because I don't want to get in trouble for calling somebody crazy now in 2018. I'll go with different because, remember, this is the same guy who just didn't show up to the last game of the season last year for the Steelers. Mm-hmm. This is the same guy who had that weird interview with Jeremy Fowler from ESPN over the summer where he was laying around his mansion saying nobody knows how hard I work, and everyone's like, you're laying down. This is like something like that would be on Saturday Night Live right now. This is making sense. This is some guy with a blonde mustache and green hair and everything else. He doesn't do things like regular, normal, rational people. So I think it's more about the attitude of Antonio Brown than his whole motive of skipping training camp or anything else. If you want to skip training camp and said, hey, I'm not going to take it, it'd probably be okay, fine. If you don't want to come, you don't have to come. You're a veteran. You'll figure it out. I think it's just nuts, different.
Yeah, so, I mean, now, last time we really saw each other was the NFL Draft Day, and it was pretty crazy. We had a good time at KDO Burns, and it was kind of funny because when I was talking to you guys, you really wanted Ed Oliver really bad, and so much so that you said to your wife that you would put a baby in her if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers drafted Ed Oliver. But then Levac tells us last time he's on this show, he said that if the Raiders drafted Ed Oliver, he would put a baby in you. So, I mean, it was a pretty crazy deal. So, overall, they did not get Ed Oliver, so I think everyone's safe for right now. And they go and get Devin White, which I had told you that day they would probably go and grab. Now, what you weren't sure about that. Now, what are your feelings now on Devin White now that he's part of the team?
Well, first things first, let me confirm my wife is not pregnant.
All right, there you
to
go.
My knowledge. Right, to my knowledge. Ed Oliver is a beast. I got to see him up close at Bill's camp. He is amazing. I know there's a video with him and Cam Newton that went a little viral. He is awesome. As for Devin White, he's okay. He's a nice player. You know, you were saying about like you were just saying at draft day. He's a nice player. He had a good college career. I think why I'm a little bit of a wait and see on White is I'm curious to see how Todd Bowles on the defensive side and Bruce Arians decide to use him. Are they going to let him just go after the passer? Are they going to put him in coverage? When you got a division with Matt Ryan and Drew Brees and Cam Newton, it'd be awesome to say, hey, go get him, but are they going to let the rookie get picked on by potential Hall of Fame quarterbacks? I don't know how they're going to use him. I hope they use him for the fact that they put pressure on those quarterbacks to make a lot of plays and let him be a playmaker, a mix between outside linebacker, middle linebacker, defensive back. They can do a lot of different things with him. Maybe even toss him in the secondary if it goes 4 or 5 wide and he can out-athlete some people. I'm just, I won't say concerned. I'm still very much wait and see. I want to see how Todd Bowles is going to use White. I know how they're going to use Oliver and these other rookies. They're going to make him make plays. I want to see those first few games of how White is like Tampa.
Excellent. And you actually took my other next question I was going to say, because you guys were able to go to training camp. You do this every season where you get to go to the area, our local teams, the Bills, the Jets, the Patriots, and the Giants camps. And I was going to say, I mean, did you get to see Ed Oliver, and how did he look? And you're saying he played like a beast. Now, Josh Allen, entering his second season with more weapons. Cole Beasley there, John Brown, along with Zay Jones is still there, and he seemed like he started to come into his own finally here with them. Do you see him taking a step forward now this season?
Yes. I think Josh Allen should have a very good season. I think Buffalo overall as a team should be very good. I'll just note this, though. The day we were at Bills camp, Josh Allen didn't have a good day. It just wasn't one of his. I'm sure when you look back at 2009 preseason training camp, the day we were there, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was July 31st, he'll probably look back and say, that was the worst day. Couple picks in defenders' chests. Yeah, that day. Now, Josh Allen overall for Buffalo, I'm curious to see who becomes those targets. Like, for fantasy football-wise, if you look at it like this, they're not going to have a huge season on a wideout. Like, Zay Jones, nah, okay. Foster was an undrafted kid out of Alabama. People are calling him the number one wideout. I'm not as sold as Bills fans are on him. Running backs, it's Frank Gore, Sean McCoy, Singletary. I know people absolutely love the rookie. I didn't stand out when we were there. I know there's a guy named Wade who people really like a lot. There's a lot of these guys who are kind of put up 40, 50, 60 yards. They're not going to light up the scoreboard and put up great numbers, but they might beat teams 24-20. They might beat teams 17-13 because the defense is really good. Allen will be improved. He will win more games, but I think some fantasy football owners are going to hope for rushing touchdowns. I don't think he's going to put up huge yardage numbers for your fantasy teams this year.
All right. Well, fantasy advice, too, as well. And one of the interesting things I've noticed about the Bills is they started to load up that backfield. It was very interesting to me when they picked up Frank Gore, when they already had LaShawn McCoy there. They also bring in T.J. Yeldon, and they draft Singletary. And so what do you think is their real plan here with the running backs here? Are they looking to replace somebody, or what's going on?
It is a great question. I asked the same question to our guy, Matt Perino, who covers the team for NY Up, formerly known as NY Upstate Doc. I'm asking the same question, and this was 3 weeks ago. And that question you asked me, here's how I lean towards it a little bit. Yeldon, Gore, and McCoy are all veterans. So you can't, obviously, of course, put them on a rookie pay scale because they're not rookies, so they're going to have to make more money. Now, there was talks back in late June, early July, that maybe McCoy would get traded and be moved. Financially, it would have made sense, but now they're in a spot where it's like, well, I can't really dump him down because he's going to hurt the cap. Well, why'd you bring him before? He's a veteran. And every year, he's not for 4 or 5 years, he can't be next to the roster. We're not going to play special teams. TJ not going to play special teams. Singletary and Wade, and these guys are going to be on the roster. I think they're going to carry 4 running backs. I think it's going to be Yeldon getting cut. It's going to be Gore, McCoy, Singletary, and Wade's going to go to the practice squad. It could be Sal Capaccio. Yeldon's going to be most likely an odd man out, and I wouldn't be shocked if another team in the NFL picked him up, try to bring him off as a second or third straight guy.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. It was one of the interesting things to me that I noticed. We're talking to Tom Gozlowski from 104.5 The Team, ESPN Radio. He had a chance to go to some of these training camps here in our upstate region, and we went to the Jets camp. Now, you've always been going to the Jets camp for the last couple of years here. You've got to see Rex Ryan behind the scenes. You got to see Wales working around Todd Bowles. Now, what was it like underneath Adam Gase there? What was the training camp like then?
It's funny how different things are with Bowles versus Gase because it was I wouldn't say game setting, but it was a very competitive setting. We'll put it like that. I heard reports going in the week before that Greg Williams and Adam Gase were yelling at each other in practice. You're like, oh, great, it's going to be like Hard Knocks. Awesome. Williams and Jackson, just like last year for the Browns, are yelling it. But Gase loves it because Gase is so competitive. He doesn't even want the defensive coordinator to beat it in practice. He's going to draw plays in practice, in the huddle, that because he knows Greg Williams, at most time, almost any other level, this is high school, college pros, the reason you're drawing up a certain play is you're trying to use it that week, and you're trying to use a defensive scheme to prepare somebody gets beat. Okay, get ready for whatever, Patriots, Bills to use that play. Gase is so competitive, he can't do it. He wants to beat Williams, and then Williams gets mad at him for changing the play, so then Williams changes the play. It is such a competitive atmosphere, a competitive feeling for the Jets that those guys will beat each other. Now, it's going to be awesome when the games start if they're going to be yelling and screaming at each other because they're going to be so competitive. But a much more competitive, much more intense, we want to win every single place setting under Adam Gase and the Jets.
Now, do you think that intensity and what he's been able to bring to the Jets has transpired or has been picked up by Sam Darnold? You think he looks better in camp? He looks a lot better on preseason so far, but
For sure. Quicker with the football. That's what it's been for Sam Darnold in preseason now. He's been getting the ball quicker on his hands in the Pac-12. He's a lead interception guy. But Gabe's working with Peyton Manning. He's working with Darnold to figure out where the ball's going to go. Quicker out of his hands. Throw it away if you have to. Less turnovers has been the goal of Darnold, and it looks like he's going to get that done.
excellent. Now, with Le'Veon Bell missing like a year and a half of football here, he's not at training camp. Do you think we're going to see a little more of like Eli McGuire here early on in the season and just split some carries here with Le'Veon, get him in, and then he'll continue to get a little more reps as we go on through the season?
I hope so, because he was a guest with us. Levac and I sat right down for about 10 minutes with Eli McGuire.
Excellent.
And we talked about, and we opened up the interview and said, hey, are you thinking about hearing about Le'Veon Bell? And he kept laughing, and he said, yes. He's like, Le'Veon's a really good player. He's going to help us win games. But I'm here too. So he might get in there on third down. He might do a double back set. They can do a lot of different things with Eli McGuire. And I want to make sure everyone knows it's Eli McGuire. I think
That's
the Jets
right.
will have him listed in what line yet. He goes by Eli. So yeah, he's going to get in there and make some plays, and I think Gase is going to find ways to use them. And I think he could be one of these late season guys where Le'Veon starts taking some hits on the body. He might get more reps come November and December for the Jets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he looks pretty good in the preseason so far. And I thought it was even kind of unfair for the Jets to use him against some of the second or third string defenses through the preseason because he was just lighting it up. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do along with Le'Veon Bell, and I'm interested to see where this Jets team is going to go. Now, the Jets fans, they claim that they are making a run for the division against the Patriots. Now, I'm ready to pump the brakes on there, especially I've seen their schedule coming up, and it's going to be pretty difficult here. What's your expectations for the Jets?
The Jets, I'm a little bitter for the Jets, and I'll fully admit that. By the way, two of our producers did pick the Jets to win the division. They went to Rivers Casino. They put the money on the Jets. I think it was Mike James and Eric Hanneman. Both put money on the Jets. I think they're at 7 or 8 to 1 to win the division. As for me, in the 2018 preseason, that was my big shocker, dark horse, sleeper playoff team. I had the Jets. They didn't make the playoffs. They were far from the playoffs. So I'm a bit bitter against the Jets this season because they made me look stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So they're looking right around 500. Hey, if they get to 7 wins, that's improved from last season. That's a better record. So I look at the Jets anywhere between 7 and 9 to 9 and 7. I'd probably be more of a fan of them if they did better last year. I'm a little bitter still, so I probably lean towards 7 and 9 more so than 9 and 7.
Yeah, well, they got new coaching and new scheme and new players, so we'll see. Except for that receiving core now, they haven't really changed that. They grabbed Jamison Crowder now. Now, you think that might be some of an issue for them, and they might have to rely more on their strong defense this season, or you think they're kind of set with what they have?
It's amazing, the Jets wide receivers, because they've tried. They've tried to get guys in to make plays. They tried to bring in a tight end, Austin Seferian-Jenkins, didn't work. They tried to bring in Ardarius Stewart from Alabama. He didn't work. Mm-hmm. They tried to bring in Smith from Ohio State. He didn't work. They've tried to upgrade the wide receiving core. Everybody they've tried to bring in, and young player-wise, hasn't worked. That one year, they had Curse and Anderson, they both went for 1,000 yards, and no one probably thought that was going to come. But, yeah, I mean, this has been the Jets' 4th, 5th season where they've kind of lacked on wide receiver big names to bring in. So I guess that's their mindset. They feel good with Crowder. Crowder's got to stay healthy. That's a big thing for him this season. Crowder can be really good, but he's got to stay healthy for the Jets. And if he's healthy, him and Anderson dance around 1,000 yards apiece.
Mm-hmm. Now, the Patriots, they just released in. Do you think maybe he's visiting with the Lions right now, and that's, who knows, there's maybe a chance there because, you have former Patriots there too as well with the head coach. So do you think maybe the Jets try and take a look at him as well?
Maybe they'll do I call it the old 49ers Seahawk move, or maybe they'll just bring him in. This was back when Harbaugh and Carroll's still there were coaching. They bring in a guy in division, have him hang around for a week, find out what he knows, and then cut him. That's what more likely to happen. Hey, what's Belichick going to do in camp? Okay, all right, get on the bus, get out of here, bye. Like that's what I think is more likely to happen for them than him to make an actual roster spot for the Jets.
Mm-hmm. Now, you've gone to the training camps. You've gone to the Patriots camps a few times. It's tough what you could probably get away with there. Now, have you this may be a dumb question. Have you learned anything different here from training camp at the Patriots camp here? What's new with the Patriots?
No, the Patriots, besides having passionate fans and everything else, not too much different. No Gronk. No Gronk. That's about it. No Gronk out there being the tight end target. But the Patriots, this has been the constant Patriot thing for years. Mm-hmm. No big names, no big free agent signing, no big rookie. Even the rookies, they had 2 first-round picks last year. It took a little bit of time before they got going. Mm-hmm. They're not going to be exciting. They're not going to be flashy. Now, here's what to remember about the Patriots, though. They were barely in Foxborough this summer. They had not one, but 2 visits in camp. They went to the Tennessee Titans, Mike Vrabel, the head coach there, and they also went and did a joint practice with the Lions. So double joint practices is pretty rare in the NFL to have that happen, to do the double joint practices. The last time I think they did this 2 years ago, they did a joint practice with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, yeah, double joint practices. We'll see how that affects the team. But, yeah, not a lot of Patriots in Foxborough this summer.
Yeah, how about Mike Vrabel? Did you see him and Tom Brady going at it, jawing a bit? That's pretty. Yeah. It got pretty heated. I can't believe it. I didn't think they'd have that much. Anger for each other. It's pretty interesting. But
teammate versus ex-teammate. I love it.
Yeah. Now Josh Gordon now is being reinstated. He can play now. Demaryius Thomas, he's being activated off the PUP list now. Do you think, looking at the Patriots now, before they just said, Doxson or no, what was it? Dorsett, and then just. Yes. Julian Edelman, now they've added to their wide receiving guys if they could stay healthy here, or if Josh Gordon can not be high. Do you think they have the best wide receiving core in the AFC East?
Ooh, best wide receiving core. Yes. I don't know if that's something to brag about.
Right.
But yeah, they're kind of kid who everybody in your class got C minuses and you got a C plus. So yeah, you got the best grade. On pitch, but yeah, I'll give them C+. Right. Yeah, they got the best of the AFC, sure.
Excellent. Now, just a real funny thing about them. Now, they just released their punter, Ryan Allen. They were able to save a $1.4 million now cap space, and they're going to be starting now their rookie, for a 5th rounder, Jake Bailey. Do you think maybe this is, in case they have to punt, they rarely do. Do you think this might be that one little notch or chip in their armor that they might have?
I would say no. I would lean towards no on this. And you made me really think about this because I thought about special teams. It's right. Your take on, could a special teams punt make a team 13-3 compared to 11-5? Sure. A returns, things like that. It could definitely play a factor. And I think that question alone is an unbelievable compliment to the Patriots, where it's like, look, we know it's not Brady. We know it's not Belichick. We know it's not the wide receivers, the defense. Something. How about the punter?
Yeah.
That's how good the Patriots has been. Well, we got to kind of dig deep to figure out what this team could have that could actually throw the season off. So I'll go with no, but I think that question is a compliment if you're a Patriots fan, where it's got to be something, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that had to be the easiest position besides being, backup quarterback, Brian Hoyer, to win 3 Super Bowls as the punter. Like, well, I didn't really have to do a lot. They were on the field. They went down and scored. We're good, But the one thing the Patriots have benefited from was a great short field a lot of times. So, I mean, this could be maybe the difference to where now their defense is pinned against the end zone a bit here, maybe a muffed punt or whatever, or maybe just a little nervousness starting the NFL and get a couple blocks here and there. I don't know, maybe something a little different. We'll see, because we have some great teams in the AFC East now, so we'll see what happens with them. Let's move on to the Giants now. Giants camp, you've been able to visit that, and you had a little bet going on with the guys from 104.5 the team, and I had to jump on this when I heard about this. Yes. I did. I heard it, and I was like, and it's not like even that I just would like to be on your show. I am so confident in this. And when I make bets, trust me, I've won every bet I bet against Joe. I am confident. I am laying it on there now that if they do start Daniel Jones week 1 of the NFL season, you and I and a few others, is it Brian Mariano and Chip Davis, have to dress up as the Blue Man Group, right?
Yes. You were coming in studio, Jimmy, Chet, Ryan Mariano, the whole crew. If Joe wants to come, he can come too and film it. If Daniel Jones starts week 1, we are coming in as members of the Blue Man Group, all 4 of us. I'm shaving my head. I'm going to go full Blue Man. I'm going to have the blue spandex on. I don't think Chet's going to touch his hair. Chet's a TV guy.
Yeah.
Closer's already got it covered. You
He
can do whatever
does.
you want with your you guys do whatever you want. But yes, you're in on it too. Again, not injury, not suspension. Those two things don't count. Injury and suspension. If he gets in there as a wildcat snap one, that counts. If Eli's not on the field for the first play, that counts. So yes, you're in on it. You heard it here. Record it. Us four members of the Blue Man Group.
That's
Daniel
right.
Jones starts week 1.
And it's funny because I said it to Joe. I'm like, you would look better for that thing because he's got the bald head covered already as well.
Right.
Yeah, right. I'm like,
Right.
come on now. But yeah, I don't know if I'll shave my head or not. I might get one of those plastic caps or whatever. But I'm all in. I'm so confident it's not going to happen. Now, I didn't get to hear like initially how this started. Now, if Eli is the starter, is there anything that anyone else loses, or you just threw it out there and said, "Listen, this is going to happen? I would do this."
It's funny you asked that because Levac did an interview on Big Board Sports last week when Roger Wine was out with Chris Honorado and Brian Mariano, who was filling in, who was a part of that. And Chris asked that same question, and Levac goes, "No, that's how confident and worked up Josh was." And I don't want anything else. I don't.
Yep.
It started basically because it's May, it's June, it's early July before training camp. And Levac's like, Daniel Jones, this is all me here. Daniel Jones looked good in practice. What do you think? He's like, Eli? I go, what? No. Because Daniel Jones looks good in OTAs or rookie minicamp. He's not going to overthrow somebody who's been in the league for 15 years and won 2 Super Bowls. That's just not going to happen. But the New York media wants to make it a thing, and they want to see because Jones looks good in practice. I'm like, stop. I go, we have not even played a game yet. He's not even played the preseason yet. So I go, I'm so confident that he's not going to start that I'll do a member of the Blue Man Group. And you know what? Here's the thing. Daniel Jones has looked pretty good in preseason.
Yeah.
He looked very good in preseason.
He does look really good. And what's funny is like we put out the video of our reactions from that when he got drafted, and it was kind of, we were all shocked a bit. But he was the guy I wanted. But again, we were looking at value. I was just hoping they might be able to grab him with their later pick that they got from the Odell trade, and I wanted one of those top defenders possibly. But you know what? He was kind of the guy I already saw. I did not want Dwayne Haskins. And it's kind of looking like it's the right move right now when you look at the two comparisons. So I'm excited about it. But like you said, he looks good in preseason. What I'm liking, too, is that the teammates have been really warming to him too, excited for him for when he does it. He congratulates like a touchdown here, there, gets off the field, and then that's it. No horse business and nothing, and they're all together. And it should be an interesting deal here with the different wide receiving cores he might have to deal with here, because we're not even sure who's going to be playing where because of the suspension to Golden Tate and whatnot. Now, what's your take on this wide receiving core?
Oh, I think it's terrible. I think it's awful. I think it's absolutely horrendous. I think it's awful. And here's the thing, Giants fans. There's so many Giants fans who look and say, before the trade happened, we don't need Odell Beckham Jr. We can win without him. He's a cancer. He's a diva. He stinks. And then he gets traded, and you're like, can we have him back for a few games, actually? Like, we didn't want him back. That gone. Like, no. That's the thing. Eli had horrible stats. You go back and look at it. Look at Eli's stats 2 seasons before Odell Beckham Jr. got there. Look at the season before Odell Beckham Jr. got there. And look at Eli's production when Odell Beckham Jr. was in lineup. It's just better. Statistically, it was better. Odell Beckham Jr., how many times it was a 4-yard, 3-yard in route, and took it 70 yards. Like, he was a huge part of that offense. But for whatever reason, maybe it's just a classic New York move. If you're a popular, outspoken, charismatic athlete, you take the criticism. You take the heat. He's got nobody to throw the ball to. Eli hasn't even some games with Beckham Jr. And Daniel Jones would be in the same boat, too. They got nobody to throw the ball to. And they got Saquon Barkley, who's arguably one of the best offensive players in the league, but they're going to put 7, 8, 9 guys in the box and force Eli Manning to win them games. And that's the thing now. And I just want to say one quick thing about Eli and Daniel Jones in this whole battle, because you and I both agree that Daniel Jones has looked good. If this was another franchise, take the names out of it, take Eli Manning out of it, take Daniel Jones out of it. If you said, okay, a quarterback who's had 8 wins the past 2 seasons and got benched for Geno Smith, and the team drafts a first-round quarterback, and he's going to play well in the preseason, he's probably going to be the Week 1 starter, because that's happened. Carson Wentz, Sam Darnold, Kyler Murray. Like, we can go through the list of first-round quarterbacks on bad franchises that ended up playing. But Eli's different.
Mm-hmm.
Eli's different for the Giants, whether it's ownership, whatever it may be. Eli is going to have that spot no matter what. Is that unfair? Maybe. Should they have cut him instead of Odell Beckham Jr.? Maybe. But that's for a whole different other podcast. It's just probably 3 hours on what the Giants decision should have been. They have to live with it now. They have to live with Eli and no targets on offense. That's Saquon.
Yeah, I mean, no, and you could go either way on this. Again, I've been an Eli supporter. I've been, I wanted Odell to be traded. I put it on our show, and it was already on YouTube before they actually pulled the trigger and did it. And I was calling for it. But again, like I told you just now, I am one of those guys that sticks by what I'm going to say, and and I believe it. And I think they can win with somebody other than Odell Beckham Jr. Golden Tate, I thought, was a great answer. But the one problem that this wide receiver core has had is injuries. And when you just riddled with injuries, and you're going down to the 5th tier, 6th tier guy there, and they don't even recognize the playbook so much, and you're having issues and not connecting, then you're not you're not going to win. You're having issues there. So that's always been a major problem.
Yes, and that's the thing. Like, when I come off, and I think some people try to paint me as an Eli hater. I'm far from that. What Eli calls it a career, Eli's going to be in the first ballot Hall of Fame. Eli's going to be top 10 in passing touchdowns, top 10 in yardage. He's going to likely, he already is top 3 all-time consecutive starts, 15 years in the league. He's going to the Hall of Fame. He's got 2 Super Bowls. He's done all these things. Mm-hmm. I just don't know if the Eli of 2019 is the Eli of 2011 or the Eli of 2007. Mm-hmm. I don't think that Eli's left it, and that's okay.
Right.
Like, that happens. Because here's the thing. Here's the other thing we didn't mention yet, and we get calls about this constantly, is the Giant offensive line.
Yeah.
Thanks. It's terrible. I think you and I had this conversation with Joe, too. Like, it's not good, and a lot of people say, it's the offensive line's fault. It's the offensive line's fault. Okay, well, Russell Wilson has a bad offensive line in Seattle. Mm-hmm. Deshaun Watson has a bad offensive line in Houston. Now, they're different quarterbacks.
Yeah. Yep.
But you can win with a bad offensive line. Well, it's the head coach's fault. Well, Tom Coughlin got canned. Ben McAdoo got canned. It's Odell Beckham Jr.'s fault. Odell Beckham Jr. got traded. We're running out of excuses now.
Yeah. No, I know.
We did the coach. We did the wide receiver. If they're bad again, eventually people are going to look around and say, the coach again?
Right. Yeah, I know. I think some of it.
It could be. It could be Shermer, because Shermer's still a below 500 coach in the league, which we probably don't talk about enough. But Eli's, the pressure is on him to figure out whether or not it's him or somebody else is the issue for the Giants.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think at one point it was a mix of everybody. I think you and I have talked about it and texted too, when maybe Shermer had something to blame with too. And but yeah, I mean, it's an interesting situation there with the Giants now. And talk about Shermer now going in there and visiting camp. Now a second year under him and without Odell. Was there a different vibe around now with everybody there? Is everybody a little more laid back there? And
no, here's the thing about Shermer and the Giants and camp and all these things. It's very, how do I describe this? I guess from a media sense, and no Odell Beckham Jr., I guess the best term I'll use is boring.
Yeah.
There's not much going. Daniel Jones is there.
Yeah.
And Daniel Jones looks good in practice, and I think that's really adds to the reason why he gets so much hype this past summer, is that there hasn't been as much exciting stuff, because before you had Odell Beckham Jr. catches in camp, and you had Odell Beckham Jr.'s contract, and then you had Ben McAdoo, and he gets fired at Shermer, then you have Saquon. There have been really fun storylines at Giants camp. Jason Pierre-Paul. There have been great storylines every summer at the Giants. It's kind of boring. Of the 4 New York teams to toss New England in the mix, there's not much happening. And I don't know if that's a compliment. I don't know if that's a good thing. It's just the truth. Besides Daniel Jones, there's kind of a lot of names people are familiar with, and the excitement's not as there as it was besides Daniel Jones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, you never know sometimes with that. And, one of the voices that isn't there is Landon Collins, too. They moved him. He signed with the Redskins. OV's going on a trade. They get Jabril Peppers. Now, what do you think about this defense now? How do you think they'll look this year?
It's all about, for the Giants, stopping the run. You have to stop the run. Even though Landon Collins is very good, years ago he should have probably got more votes for the Defensive Player of the Year award. He was that good for the Giants for that playoff season. OV worked hard, but it looks like he cashed out the right time when he joined the Giants, that he just never lived up to that contract for him. Mm-hmm. But what happened was, when they traded away Snacks last season, Every team just slammed the football against the Giants. They couldn't stop the run. Now, again, they were rebuilding. They were dumping some contracts. They were trying to get a higher pick. But they just couldn't tackle anybody. Yeah, you got really good quarterbacks in Wentz, and Prescott's going to be moving around a bit. We'll see what happens in Washington. But they got to stop the run. They got to figure out the way to actually get people out of second and shorts, third and shorts, and stop somebody. Maybe Lawrence, they'll move him around a bit up front. We'll see what he does with him. Maybe one of the D tackle steps up. But that big thing about the last 2 months of the season, they could not tackle anybody when they ran the football.
All right, we're talking to Tom Kozlowski from 104.5 The Team, ESPN Radio. We're talking Giants training camp, Bills and Jets. Now, you guys were able to go to a lot of the AFL teams and games this year, and the Albany Empire ended up winning the Arena Cup here, or the Arena Bowl. So you got to see a lot of what goes on there and the talent there. We are good friends with Jeremiah Spicer, who has been in the Arena Bowl and or the Arena League, and he was the rookie of the league, rookie defensive player of the league, getting 147 tackles. And he started to get noticed by the Cleveland Browns. He went into the Los Angeles Chargers. Now he's a hopeful to make it to the Chargers. He's looking for a phone call. Now, do you see anybody from the Arena League, possibly the Albany Empire, who might have a chance to jump into the XFL or the NFL?
So you said the magic words there, right? The XFL.
Yes.
And the NFL. So here's the problem with the Arena League. And problem might not be the right word. Maybe just the timing of it, I'll just say. Mm-hmm. That camps are in. We'll just use Malachi Jones, for example, right? Yep. So Malachi Jones got on the roster with the Bears, got a tryout with the Titans. Mm-hmm. Maybe he'll get a phone call again. But if he gets a call in July, he can go off and play for a team. But if he gets signed now, we're into week 3. They get the 90 mans already going. If he gets signed, he's probably going to play week 4 and then get cut because they're, as we in Levac like to say, looking for warm bodies in preseason game 4, which you really don't want. Like, you don't want to be that guy who just plays and knows you're not going to make the team.
Right.
The problem is the timing of it. So if they're not in camp now, it seems unlikely that they would make a roster because they haven't had weeks of film on them. They haven't had tryouts. They haven't had one-on-ones. They haven't been on. It's just as simple as they're not on the field. They don't have a jersey, which kind of sucks. But that's kind of the truth of that situation. As for the XFL, I know I'm in the minority on this, but I don't think that league's going to kick off in 2020. I really don't. I think the league is business-wise investing a ton of money that I don't know how they're going to make it back. The Alliance American Football League, what happened with them is a lot of their pictures of their attendance was horrendous. They just weren't making money. The XFL, from what people have told me behind the scenes, are paying people more than the Alliance American Football League has paid people. So they're spending more. Much of it is Vince McMahon's money. They have an announced deal with ESPN and Fox to air their games, but if you know some stuff about media, I'm very convinced that the networks, ESPN and Fox, did not pay the XFL. The XFL has bought that airtime, so that's more money. Mm-hmm. Plus, leasing the stadium. They're in an absolute hole. I think they're going to look at their bottom line when tickets go on to them and be like, we're going to be losing so much money year one. We can't do this. We can't. So I don't think they're going to kick off. But for arena guys, they're more likely to get in the XFL, if it ever exists, compared to the NFL, because that's kind of seen as the feeder league being level 4, 4A, if you want to use a baseball term for that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it is kind of scary because, now it's just, you're starting to notice they're just leaking certain quarterbacks here and there, that they might have, in there in the pool. And I think they're supposed to be doing their draft in like October, I think, or somewhere around there. And it seems pretty late for some people just to, hear just like 2 names like Landry Jones out there and
right.
stuff. And be like, all right, well, who else?
But here, let's do the Landry Jones thing, right? Closer, Brian Marinado and I had this conversation last week. All right, so Landry Jones announced he is the first XFL player.
Yeah.
Now, they're not going to put him on, they're not going to sign him to a team. They're going to make him part of the league draft and everything else. But, okay, the Eagles lost 2 quarterbacks this week. What if Landry Jones signed with the XFL and then all of a sudden the Eagles called and said, oh, actually, we want you to be our backup instead of Josh McCown? Mm-hmm. Landry Jones would have been like, bye, XFL.
Yeah, exactly.
They dodged a bullet there. Yeah. The league almost went up and said, we got our first. Well, no, we don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's always the thing because everybody always would want to go up to that next step. It's just that other thing, the upper echelon, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And then, this information is out here, but maybe it's just common sense. Maybe people figured out, okay, so if we're Landry Jones, right, and the Philadelphia Eagles maybe they didn't. Maybe the Eagles didn't call him, but let's just play the fact that, okay, he's a highly coveted free agent quarterback. let's say the Eagles called him. I would assume that if you had that opportunity, we'd all go to the NFL. They, the XFL, I'm just assuming here, must have offered Landry Jones so much money that he financially looked at it and said, okay, I want to be in the NFL, but this is more money here to be a starter in the XFL and be player one. I'm staying here, which sounds awesome for the players.
Yeah.
But how are you going to make that money back?
Yeah, exactly.
You
Oh, I
can't
know.
be paying Landry Jones $4 million.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And you know what's funny? Lately, you've been seeing everybody on the Titantrons here and there and blah, blah, blah. Let's have some fun here doing the beer chugging. Is there ever a chance that you and Levac are going to do a beer chug somewhere like at the Times Union Center or something on the big screen?
Yes, I hope so.
Yeah.
If they need us to do it, I'll do it. Levac would destroy me. I'm not good at it.
So what,
I'll put my
right?
best effort out there. I'm not a great chugger. I'm not a good shotgunner. I'll own it.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not great at it. But this Thursday,
Mhm.
at the Tri-City Valley Cats game, I'm throwing out the first pitch.
Yes.
So I'm likely going to stick around for the game. If the camera cuts to me and I have a beer, I'll chug it right there at the
Nice.
Valley Cat game on
Awesome.
Thursday.
There you go. I hope so. I think that would be amazing. It's just all in fun, and I think everybody here in the Capital Region would love to see that.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's do it. And if you need to sponsor me with a beer, any local beer company like to sponsor me, I'll get paid to do it.
Hey, we'll get D. Crescenti out there, see what they can do. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's have some fun here. We always fool around a little bit at the end of the show here with you. I know you love wrestling. Instead of doing what we normally kind of do, I figured we'd have some fun and say, all right, it's like SummerSlam or whatever. There's a 6-man tag. All right, it's you and who else is on your 6-man tag team?
I can just
From
pick
the
anybody
NFL.
all time?
From the NFL.
Oh, from the NFL.
To wrestle.
From the NFL.
To wrestle, yes.
Give me Indomitian Sue all
Okay.
day. Sue's a madman. I'll take Indomitian Sue all day. So I'll take him. And you know what? Let's go with somebody we've been talking about. Yeah. Oh, well, I'm between two guys right now. I'm going to go with Ed Oliver. I'm going to go with Ed Oliver. But if I can't get Ed Oliver, I would want Jadeveon Clowney. Just because he's holding out, he's fresh, he's looking to get paid. If I can get Sue, Clowney, and me, oh, my God. But Oliver would be nasty. I'll go with Oliver for now. I'll go Oliver and Sue. Two nasty D tackles is my 6-man tag match.
Excellent. Awesome, man. Sweet. All right, and I have one last thing for you here. I played this with Levac. We had a lot of fun with it. It's a little interesting. You've ever heard of the game Marry, Kill, Sex, Friend? We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it here, football style.
Okay.
All right, this is what
Okay,
we're doing.
okay,
All right,
okay.
a team you're absolutely in love with, you would marry. A team you hate, which you would kill. Sex is the sexy pick. You know, it's somebody that looks good. You maybe up and coming, real nice pick. Or a friend where, yeah, I could see them maybe making a push for the playoffs or whatever. You know, I kind of like them.
Okay.
So what do you
Okay.
think? What do you think? What do you got?
All right. So I'm going to go with Kill first. I'm sorry, Giants fans. I'm sorry. I don't know how it's going to be good. I don't get it. I don't know how it's going to be good this season. You drafted the 6th best quarterback in the ACC and you got Eli and no receivers and nobody stopped the run. I hate Kill the Giants. Mary, who's the other? What I got? Mary. What was the other one?
Marry, sex, and friend.
Mary, sex, and friend. Okay. Can I be a friend of the Bucks? Because I
Bucks?
just went to Rivers the other day. I'm
All
going
right.
friend with the Bucks
Okay.
because I'll root for them all season.
Yeah.
I'm going to go friends with the Bucks. I put a wager on them. I think I put $20 down to win $240. They're getting nice little odds for me, so I'm okay with my Tampa Bucks. Mary, oh man. Okay, I think I'm going to go with on this one. I'm going to go the Buffalo Bills.
Ooh,
The
there
Bills
you
have
go.
become like my sexy. Sexy. Yeah, my sexy team. I'm switching. Mary
All right,
sex, right?
sex,
That's the other
sex.
two options?
Yes. So you're gonna
Okay.
sexy
I'm
Bills.
switching. Okay, sexy the Bills.
All right.
I like sexy for the Bills instead. I'm switching out of that because the Bills, I think, could be a playoff sleeper with Allen, the schedule, McDermott. They look so good. The best Bills team I've seen at camp since I've gone to St. John Fisher.
Mm-hmm.
Give me sexy there. Mary. Man.
I know
I don't-
Levac
I
thought
don't-
he would just go with the Raiders, but he went with somebody else too.
Yeah. Maybe I'm gonna. Okay, I'm flipping it. I'm doing it on the air. I'm flipping it right now. I'm
Okay.
going Mary for the Bucks. I'm stuck with them,
Okay.
and I'm gonna put my friend pick as the Chicago Bears.
All
And
right.
here's why. This just happened today.
Okay.
I'm stuck. I cannot figure out who I'm going to take in the NFC for a Super Bowl team. I go with the Patriots until the Patriots don't have Brady and Belichick. I lock that every year as my preseason pick, and I can't figure out who's coming out of the NFC. I read an article today that the most action for any team in the NFL this season to win the Super Bowl has been the Cleveland Browns and the Chicago Bears.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to kind of defer to people who might know more than me out in the desert. I'm going to go with friend of the Bears.
Excellent.
Because I think they might be a team that makes me look smart 4 months from now.
Yeah, I mean, Mitch Trubisky keeps getting better. They only added more players onto the defense too. I mean, so it's pretty scary. They're the team to beat in that division too. I mean, I'm not sure about Kirk Cousins again here with the Vikings, and I'm interested to see what this offense is going to look like for the Packers. You know, their defense is much improved, but who knows with that division? That's going to be an exciting division to watch.
Yes, for sure. It may be a great division to watch this season.
Excellent. We're talking to Tom Kozlowski from 104.5 The Team, ESPN Radio. You can listen to his show 2 to 7 p.m. Eastern on 104.5 The Team, ESPN Radio, and the app. Thank you so much for joining us. We always have a good time. And I'm sorry Joe couldn't be here, but we had a lot of fun talking here together. And
let's talk again soon. And if Daniel Jones starts week 1, I will be immediately on the podcast.
There you go. Right? That would be amazing.
If Eli gets hurt, it will be. You just hit me with the DM. I will be immediately on the podcast, and hopefully we won't be talking again soon. Because if we are, we'll likely be painted in blue.
All right, excellent. So yeah, man, yeah, definitely. And yeah, I'm betting on this. That's what I'm saying. He is not going to be, but if by chance he is, I will see you in the studio. I'll be painted blue. I'm all in on it. And if not, maybe I'll see you in Saratoga Lake, and I'll grab your balls for a prize, possibly.
Oh, God. Catch you later. We'll talk to you soon.
Excellent, man. Take care. All right. That's it. That's our interview with Tom Kozlowski from 104.5 The Team, ESPN Radio. Always a good time when we get a chance to talk to him.
At least you got a chance to talk to him.
Yes, I know. Unfortunately, you weren't here for that, but I had fun. And
absolutely.
What's great with those guys and being able to talk with them, they go visit training camp every summer.
Actually there.
So they go there. They get to see the different things that goes on. They talk to some of these guys. I talked about Eli McGuire. I mean, he was an up and coming guy last year, and he's running like an animal this year in the preseason. And I can only imagine. That's why I brought up. I'm like, a little 1-2 punch with him and Le'Veon, so to get the wheels turning a little bit for Le'Veon Bell, because he hasn't been really on the field so much, for a long time. So get it going, working it in there, and that way too, there's no maybe major injury to Le'Veon Bell too for the Jets. And sneakily, the Jets are even building something there a little bit here. So it's interesting to see how that division goes.
The one thing that I really do enjoy about what the Jets, the one concern I should say that I had going into this regular season was, where was the offensive line help? Everybody knew that the offensive line had to be upgraded in some form or fashion, but we didn't see anything happen until just recently. They pulled off a couple of trades. Early on they traded for Kelechi Osemele from the Raiders. They got a proven veteran guard for one side, for the left side, and then for the right side they ended up pulling off another trade with the Baltimore Ravens for Alex Lewis, who started for the Ravens last season. So they got 2 upgrades there, slowly building that offensive line. But again, still critical for those tackles. I still need to see better tackle play by the Jets' offensive line. So until they upgrade those edges, those bookend tackles, then I'll be more all in on the New York Jets.
Yeah, a lot of different questions to be answered here. We're going to be talking about the AFC East and the NFC East in just a little bit.
Just a moment.
But, Joe, let's hit them up with some news and hit them up with the drop. What do you think of that? And the music isn't going. There we go. Oh, see, I had to restart it. See that? See what happens?
Shit.
Lack of practice.
Where's the producer?
I don't know. See? There you go. So the music will start soon. Here it goes. There we go.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Welcome back, everyone.
Texans are reportedly shopping Jadeveon Clowney in trade talks as of right now. They're trying to move on from Jadeveon Clowney. They don't want to pay him the big money. And we've had this debate before on the show about, is he worth it, is he not worth it? And quite honestly, for a number 1 overall pick, I don't see the same results that you should be getting. J.J. Watt, on the other hand, even with his injuries, is still well worth the money. After removing cornerback Darius Slay from the non-football injury list just over a week ago, the Detroit Lions made another significant change to their training camp roster by removing D-tackle Damon Harrison from the non-football injury list as well, per head coach Matt Patricia. The National Football League Players Association reportedly issued a work stoppage guide.
the
Stoppage
handbook.
guide.
That's right.
To players to prepare them for a potential strike or lockout following the 2020 season. However, they still see it as an unlikely thing to happen, but nonetheless, it's always good to be prepared.
That's right. That's what the Boy Scouts say.
The State Bond Commission has given the Mercedes-Benz Superdome's governing body the go-ahead for a $450 million stadium upgrade. That is a key part of talks to keep the New Orleans Saints in New Orleans for the next several decades. For the know-it-all video gamer out there, yes, this made the news here. Maximum Football 2019 launches in September on PS4 and Xbox One. I'm pretty excited about this. It's a college football game with fictitious schools, names, colors, logos. All are 100% customizable. College football is back, baby, for Xbox One and PS4. Well, kinda. I mean, it's not, certified, but we'll go with it, right? I'm super excited about it. We haven't gotten an NCAA college football video game since who knows when.
Oh, yeah.
It's been way too long. I wish they brought it back, but unfortunately, this is okay. I'll do this. I'll make believe that my college, Florida State. I'll make it up and let's see what we can go. We'll win a chip, baby. Wide receiver Josh Gordon is now eligible to return to the New England Patriots, and he has done so. Here's an interesting thing, though. Josh Gordon, great athlete, great receiver. That's never been in question. But is he going to stay clean this time? I mean, this guy has had more chances than I think any player in the league. I mean, what is it, like his 12th time back or something? That's what it feels like
funny
anyway.
They keep letting him back in, though. It's hilarious.
I wonder if it's the Patriots because he's on New England's roster. I don't know. Eagles have agreed on a one-year deal with quarterback Josh McCown, who unretired just to join the Eagles, per source. This is a good signing. Josh McCown, he's a very serviceable backup quarterback. He's come in on various teams in different spots in different situations and has performed well. So hopefully he'll be able to get in, learn the playbook because he is a vet. He should be able to grasp it pretty easily. And the Eagles may just have another decent backup in the ranks. Baltimore Ravens nickelback Tavon Young is expected to miss the entire season with a neck injury, Coach John Harbaugh announced. This is bad news. I mean, Tavon Young is pun not intended, but he is a very young player coming into this new kind of regime of the defense for the Baltimore Ravens. And he was on the upswing. He was a guy that was, starting to make a name for himself, starting to play better year by year. This year was going to be his breakout year at the nickelback position, but unfortunately it's cut short. Chargers safety Derwin James reportedly out 3 months. That's right, 3 months after surgery on his foot, according to NFL Network's Mike Garafolo. This is going to hinder the Chargers defense pretty impactfully. That back end of the secondary, he kind of locks it down for them back there. And even in his young career, this is only his second year back. Rookie year last year, made a big splash. We look for him to do much of the same. And even, I know it might sound hard to do, but he's going to take us another step forward. He was dynamic last year. Just waiting until he gets on the field this year. New York Jets linebacker Avery Williamson reportedly suffered a torn ACL, according to NFL Network's Ian Rappaport. Williamson will miss the entire 2019 season. Another blow to the Jets defense. This is a defense coming in that we were very strongly considered as being one of those top defenses. And now, slowly but surely, it seems like they're getting hit by the injury bug.
Yeah. Injuries all over the place. A lot of torn ACLs.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's the starters, right?
Yeah, right.
Dallas
Thing you don't wanna
Cowboys
see.
running back Zeke Elliott will not be charged for his May 19th altercation with a security guard in Las Vegas, per TMZ Sports. So, we saw the video. We didn't think anything was going to come of it. It really was nothing. And sure enough, the charges were dropped, and now he's still free and he's out there. Little note on Zeke. He left Cabo, went to Dallas, and still has no deal. Buccaneers GM Jason Licht reportedly agreed to a 5-year contract extension, and rightfully so. The GM for the Buccaneers, he's been there for years. I think he's deserved a new deal. He's done his fair share of changes and make the right decisions for that franchise, and hopefully he continues on. Real decision maker for Jason is, what do you do with Jameis Winston? Former Texas Longhorn star and NFL running back Cedric Benson sadly passes away at age 36. That's right, 36 years old. I'm older than he was.
Yeah.
And he just recently passed away. He died via a motorcycle accident in Austin, Texas. So condolences go out there. Prayers to the family and friends of Cedric Benson. It's terrible and tragic, and unfortunately, there really is no words. The Indianapolis Colts announced a couple of running back moves on Monday, signing free agent running back Sharkandrick West. Many of you have known him. He used to be on the Chiefs. He started for the Chiefs briefly, did a great job, and placed running back Deontay Foreman on IR. This is a guy that they signed within a week. And already Deontay Foreman is now on the IR. They're like, well, we did pick him up. Let's try to keep him. So
I guess.
they put him on the IR. They pick up another depth piece at the running back position. But who knows what is going to happen with the saga of Deontay Foreman? I'm sorry. I've been rooting for this guy to get healthy, get back into the swing of things, because I think he's got tremendous talent. It's just, I don't know, work ethic, injuries.
XFL bound, possibly.
Who knows? Very likely might be.
That's what everybody's answer could be, possibly, for
The
everything.
Patriots released wide receiver Dontrell Inman.
Yeah.
The wide receiver signs a contract with the Chargers despite an offer from the Jets. So the Jets were in the mix.
They did throw a mix.
The Jets were in the mix to try to get Dontrell Inman, which would have been a great signing for the Jets. But he chose to go back to Chargers. Why? Phillip Rivers. Need I say more? Sam Darnold, Phillip Rivers, All-Pro, still young. So it was a no-brainer for Dontrell. He decides to go back to the Chargers. Chargers get a great signing and a great player. He returns there where he kind of started his career. Cardinals rookie wide receiver Hakeem Butler has hand injury diagnosed as a fracture. The IR is possible, so he may be done in his rookie year. Who I was very high on Hakeem Butler coming out of Iowa State. Thought this kid, he's got great size, he's got some speed, some hands, he's got everything you need to work with. If his rookie season ends by IR, that's just terrible for this Cardinals team that's kind of moving on from other pieces. And we brought up Zeke earlier. He came back to Dallas just to find out that Cowboys linebacker Jalen Smith agreed to a new long-term deal for 5 years, $65 million, with $35.5 million guaranteed. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, Smith was given the third highest guaranteed contract among linebackers and is now the fifth highest paid at the position per Schefter. Hey, Zeke, you know what happens? Go ahead. I'm going to hold out, right? I'm going to hold out. I'm not going to go to training camp. I'm going to hold out and make them pay me the money. Well, here's a player that's doing it the right way. I understand, and here's the thing. He's a young player. He's proven himself. Hey, what? Did he hold out? No. He's still in training camp. He's working hard in the preseason games. And what do you know? Cowboys like, okay, well, Zeke's holding out. Dak Prescott turns down a $30 million per year contract, which is just retarded. Asinine. Sorry, I don't know how to word it. Yeah. You should have took that money and run. And they're like, okay, you snubbed us. Hey, Jalen, come in the office. Here, how about that? We'll just re-sign you because no one else wants to be a part of this team.
Here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk.
And that's what you get when you do things the right way. He
Yeah.
got paid. He's got job security. He's with the Cowboys for the next several years. And Zeke is still left empty-handed, still wondering where his money is.
Yeah.
The New York Jets signed linebacker Stefan Anthony agrees to a contract for 2 years after his 2 years with the Dolphins, according to Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network. And, we just heard Williamson down.
Yes.
He's done for the
Yes.
year. They had to go and find some kind of piece to maybe grow, so Stefan Anthony steps in. Maybe he could fill the void. The Dolphins have closed in on a 4-year contract extension with receiver Jakeem Grant. Adam Beasley of the Miami Herald reports the extension is worth up to $24 million. Grant gets $6 million per year, per Ian Rappaport. So Jakeem Grant ends up locking up a deal, stays with Brian Flores, the new coach, and I think he sees something in Jakeem Grant, much like what the Patriots like to see, as a receiver that's very fast, very quick, and they can use him as a chess piece and a mismatch type of weapon for them. The New York Jets linebacker Brandon Copeland, this is another Jet linebacker, was suspended for the first 4 games of the 2019 season for violating, you guessed it, the NFL's performance-enhancing drug policy. Unreal. I'm beside myself. It's like the Jets now are just all messed up in the linebacking corps.
Winners don't use drugs.
It's very true. And C.J. Mosley does not use drugs, and that's why he will be the backbone of this defense.
There you go.
Tight end Richard Rodgers is out multiple weeks with a foot injury per the Philadelphia Eagles. He got added on in free agency to the Eagles, another depth piece at tight end. But it's not a real major concern. He's kind of like third string at this point. So, no big worries. The Arizona Cardinals released receiver... poor Kevin White. Kevin White now...
can't make it
as
last.
now here it gets better.
Yeah.
He can't stay healthy, right?
Yeah, I know that.
So the reason why he got released wasn't because of talent, wasn't because... Yep, you guessed it. As a hamstring injury has limited his availability during training camp and the preseason, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. So this dude just can't stay healthy no matter what. I feel bad for him because I think he definitely has the talent to be a good receiver in the NFL. It's just he simply can't stay healthy. So I would have to assume at this point that this is his last rodeo. Like, you couldn't stay healthy with the Cardinals. You could never stay healthy with the Chicago Bears that originally drafted you. I don't know if there's going to be another team out there that gives him a shot. Maybe, like you were mentioning before the show, XFL. He could be XFL material. After a successful first season with the team, Damon Harrison has signed a 1-year, $11 million extension with the Detroit Lions, per Adam Schefter of ESPN. I mean, is this a good move? Is it a bad move? I don't know. He still seems to be playing up to a top-notch level at D-tackle, and they lock him up as well.
He's a major run stopper. So
I mean, he's led
the
league the last 4 years in tackles for a D for that position. So still playing at a high level.
Yeah.
Locked him up. And some big news from the XFL. We mentioned it earlier. They've just unveiled 8 teams that will start their first ever season in the year 2020.
Yeah.
And these are the teams.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to do it.
Yeah,
After I
right.
saw the trailer for it, got to see what the names were. We got the Dallas Renegades, the Houston Roughnecks, the LA Wildcats, New York Guardians, St. Louis Battlehawks, Seattle Dragons, Tampa Bay Vipers, and DC Defenders. I'm excited. Ooh. I like all the names. I like the colors, the logos. Everything looks pristine. I just can't wait, and I'm not really sure what team to pick at this point. But there you have it, everybody, the drop.
Yeah, there you go. There's the drop. There's all your news. All right. Oh, man. Yeah, the XFL started. We have comments coming here. Sorry, the Restreams chat box has been kind of screwed up, but I've been trying to keep track here on Facebook. So YouTubers out there, too, post some comments. And if I haven't seen yours yet, I'm sorry. And try and repost it if you can. All right, but see if I can look at this. Oh, see, sorry, Mike, I just put an angry face on your comment by accident. I'm trying to read the whole thing. My phone just died, so there you go. Forget that. But he said stuff about the XFL, and all kinds of stuff. So Mike brushed up your point again. He also said I changed pretty quick after that interview. You know, I jumped right in and Joe's
good.
here. So it's good, yeah.
Like Superman.
All right, but here we go. He's got one up on the restream. It says NFL fact of the day. He's doing his
whoa,
own fact
whoa,
of the day.
whoa.
Hey, you jumping in, trying to take my job here, Joe.
I see that,
Here he
man.
goes. But hey,
Crazy.
Our know-it-alls, see, they're know-it-alls. They can give us facts, too, on top of it, which
That's
we
right.
enjoy. We
That's
enjoy
what this is all
the
about.
knowledge that they have. Bring it right along with us. I'm cool with that.
Let's
Because
go.
I got one still, too.
Let's
we could
go.
trade facts with each other. That way we're twice as smart, right? All
Let's
right, so
do it.
NFL fact of the day. Patrick Mahomes, 50 passing touchdowns in his first 25 career games, ranks third in Super Bowl era. Of course, Mahomes has just played just 17 games. He needs 11 passes, touchdowns over his next 8 games to top Dan Marino's record for 60 pass touchdowns over his first 25 career games. Yeah, but I mean, see, I didn't see Swervo's comments. I'm sorry, Swervo, because the restream was acting up, so and I wasn't able to get
our
on
chat box
YouTube.
was all screwed up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So
But welcome-
if you can, but Swervo is in the house though too. He has been our MVP,
MVP
of the show for the last 5 weeks.
He
so
does.
He's rocking it hard.
He currently holds the record for most MVPs back-to-back weeks.
Definitely. Yeah, oh yeah, he's got it going on.
But welcome
So,
back,
yeah,
Swervo
welcome back,
Gaming.
Swervo, yeah.
Welcome, Mike Tackett.
Yep.
Welcome anybody who we did not see their comment. You guys are the know-it-alls. This show is all about being interactive. That's why we're gonna answer your questions. We're gonna talk about your comments.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. We're all about sharing information here.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, I mean, it's been a rough night, too. We weren't sure if we were going to make it here. There was a tornado that rolled through, knocked the
Big
power out
storm.
and stuff, so no internet, but we got up going.
Yep.
And we had the chance to talk to Tom Gaz from 104.5 The Team, ESPN Radio last night. And he had a lot to talk about with the NFC East, AFC East. He went to all the training camps, so it's always a good time talking to him. And the Bills, we brought up the Bills in a running back situation. We were right on point with some stuff. And so, yeah, keep the comments coming on. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But just like Mike Tackett just brought up his fact, I am going to bring up our In the Know fact of the day here. All right, let's see what you guys think about this one, okay? This will be interesting. All right, the Baltimore Ravens are one of only 2 NFL teams that have a marching band. Baltimore's Marching Ravens were founded as the Baltimore Colts Marching Band on September 7th, 1947, and have continuously operated ever since, supporting 3 separate franchises, Joe.
That's it.
How
That's where
about
it's
that?
at.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty
I mean, it's pretty lame, but
and
whatever.
it's kind of, you know what? It's interesting
It's
because
an interesting fact.
because who would have thought a team had a marching band still? You
I
think
mean,
a
that's-
marching band, high school, college
football,
not an
definitely.
NFL team, right?
No.
Does anybody
No.
know who the other team was? You know, I mean, the one of 2. I mean, I could just tell you, I guess. I mean, it's not very interesting. But the Washington Redskins, how about that? The Washington Redskins and the Baltimore Ravens still have marching bands, and
Right.
they have cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Where's all this money going to? I mean, holy moly!
I mean,
geez.
to be fair, no NFL franchise pays cheerleaders squat.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
they're
that's
basically
why they're
making
fighting for
minimum
their rights all the
wage,
time.
making $9 an hour or something like that. So
Yeah.
they really don't make a lot of money. And to be honest, I mean, I think we feel the same way. Just why are cheerleaders in the NFL? To be honest, I mean, when I go to a game, yes, they're pretty, they're beautiful, obviously, but you're there to watch the game. You're not there to watch the cheerleaders dance. You know, you're not there. You want to. You might as well just go to the strip club to watch girls dance if you want to do that. But, when I'm going to the game, I want to see the game. I want to see the plays, the highlights, the whole shebang. So
Excellent.
want to see the water boy on the sideline,
No, I don't. All right, but anyways, Swervo Gaming, here we go. He's reposting his comments for us. He said Melvin Gordon tweeted he expect to miss some season games because of the contract dispute. So I should have taken the Zeke trade. He says, I'm like, yeah, it happens. You never know with some of these, though, too. Because we even said about it, we're like, listen, we didn't expect him to miss any real games of the season. He might not still. Who knows? They're saying that there is no leeway here. They have not budged on this whole contract negotiation. But if you look at production, though, Zeke was always healthy. Zeke was always putting it out there. Melvin Gordon still, last year was his first kind of year that he really jumped out of there and said, here I am.
Stayed healthy.
Yeah, and
for the
stayed
most
healthy. And, possibly he could keep it going. So it was a question mark there. That's why we said maybe pull the trade here and do it and get Adrian Peterson as well.
Right.
So who knows with the fantasy game? It's all up in the air.
Here's the thing: it's still up in the air. So like Zeke isn't.
He's not there yet right now
he's
either,
not
and now
practicing.
he's pissed at Jerry Jones too. So
yeah,
I mean,
Zeke who?
Zeke
you know
who?
that was the famous the comment that Jerry Jones made, and he's not backing away from it. He publicly made that comment. It definitely rubbed Zeke the wrong way and his agent, and they feel very strongly about what Jerry Jones said himself. So I don't really know what the outcome of all this is. The whole thing with fantasy with Zeke, you still don't know if he's going to be there week 1. We don't know what the outcome is. I think Cowboys just got to wait him out. I think when week 1 comes, I think he'll show up then because Sunday's game check day. You don't want to miss out on your money. So he's holding out now. I still think he'll end up reporting, sometime at week 1 or right before week 1. And with Melvin Gordon, it's the same exact thing. These guys are trying to hold out to get the next big deals. How about you just do what Jalen Smith was doing? How about you do what some of these other guys are doing? Just show up, play, perform well, try to stay healthy, and money will come your way. So Melvin Gordon, I think he's going to do much the same thing. I think he's going to hold out, even though he tweeted out saying, I might miss some of the regular season if they don't meet, my demands. Well, I'm sorry, Melvin, but you're not Zeke. You're not the best running back in this league. So they're not really worried about it because Phillip Rivers said himself, hey, our backfield is pretty deep. We'll be good with Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
We'll be good with other guys. We're fine. So, I mean, Melvin Gordon really has no leverage at all. So I think
we talked about this. The player really doesn't have a lot of leverage, and that's all he could bring up is, I won't be there for you guys.
That's okay because they'll still win without him.
Yeah.
If he plans on holding out, I don't know I don't know why he would, because you might as well show up and play and get the game checks. Money talks. So I think both these guys should just report even if they want to hold out till week 1. But either way, I think they both have to report in the end.
Yeah, and he brings up here, and he said that we should have a football on the know fantasy football draft with all the top commenting know-it-alls. And I said congrats to Mike because he knows his stuff. Yeah, Mike knows his stuff. He's one of our favorite know-it-alls here. Swervo, too. You know your stuff, too. I love it.
That's
you guys
right.
bring it all the time. And Joe had brought this up to me about doing the fantasy draft. I didn't want to do it, but, I mean, I don't know. If we could figure it out how it's not, like, boring or whatever, or how we can figure it out how we're going to do it. If we had some kind of sheet here or somebody running through, we're all together and kind of, I'm going to take this. If we could figure out a game plan here, and I don't know, contact us on on our direct message on either our Twitter or something like that.
Like
we can
our personal thread.
personal threads. We can maybe
and then we can unveil each
Yeah.
pick. So like we can be like right here, we're like, oh, this just in, the second pick of the second round, Swervo Gaming.
Yeah.
Selects.
I don't know. How would we do it? See, I don't know.
Amari Cooper.
It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. See, if we do it live on the show, it'd be interesting, I guess. But
I think it would be entertaining.
Yeah, could be. I don't know. We'll see.
We could also do it. I mean, we could
I'm
just
open
do it
to a lot of things. I don't know if I brought it up on the last show or not.
And what else we could do, just to go a little further with this, is we could have the draft board right
here. Or I could do it with the graphics. Yeah, behind us, because then I put it over our face
that way,
and everything if I do the graphics.
we can go up there, but like, bing, put that little sticker
Put it right
there.
up there, and the sticker is. Or we'll get a sticker girl maybe or something. Who knows?
Now the sexy renegades are on the clock.
There we go. Anyways, we're going to be talking about the NFC and AFC East here. So it's going to be very interesting. Like when I talked to Gaz from 104.5 The Team, he's been to the training camps of the Bills, the Jets, the Patriots, and the New York Giants. So he's got to see a little bit here and there what it was like now under Adam Gase instead of Todd Bowles, and how he said there was a lot of energy and it's really aggressive and they just want to win even in practice. So him and Greg Williams getting into it. He said, now watch for that. When the season starts, see if Greg Williams and Adam Gase start jawing on the sidelines during a game. Because they did get into it a little bit here on some of those practices.
Greg
and they're
Williams
very
doesn't really
competitive.
get along with too many coaches.
No, I wondered if he wanted to put a hit on one of those on Adam Gates. Here's the money down,
That's
like he
right.
did in the Saints. Here you go. Yeah, I'd run out of bounds and blast him once, will you please? All right, but so let's start off with the NFC East. NFC East first, and the Dallas Cowboys. Seeing they're right on top of everybody's list here to talk about their America's team and.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how they've got the big three that are looking for money and stuff. So, I mean, they just signed Jalen Smith, which we were thinking that they were going to try and get stuff done this week or this year, so then they pay him next year. But they jumped right on top of it, and we love this move. It was great because when we talked about like this guy that needs to get paid, so they need to figure out what's going to go on with these three guys, so then they can pay this guy and they have enough money for him. And I looked at Joe when this happened and stuff. I said, listen, you know what that is now? That's Jerry Jones saying, here, listen, there you go. This is a guy who works hard. Show us what he had. We didn't have to draft him. We weren't sure about it because of the injuries. He performed, and he's shut his mouth. And it's a guy that we know we need to take care of, and they're going to take care of it now so they don't even have to sit. Maybe he does another great season here,
no
and he
stress
wants
involved.
more, even bigger money. And the thing I said is he just got somebody out of these three
Someone
guys
else's
here.
money.
He just got their money. Somebody's losing money now because of that. And Dak Prescott is like that guy on Let's Make a Deal or whatever, and he's got that briefcase he grabbed, but he's thinking that that's the $1 million
that's
in
the-
there,
yeah.
and they keep calling in with these offers, and he's like,
he thinks that's
Nah.
the $40 million case.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what he's thinking.
Yeah, he's thinking it's the big one.
He's like,
and
nah, I'll
he's
stick
turning
with
down
this.
all these offers. And I don't know. I think lo and behold, somebody's going to open up that briefcase, and then it's going to be
Oh.
no, it's going to be incentive laden, and just a little,
Man,
not
that's
so
gotta
much.
hurt. Oh,
Yeah,
$24
And
million
his
a
ego's
year.
gonna be
Oh,
hurt.
no.
I don't know where he's getting this. When David Carr was beating him on national TV in
Yeah.
the quarterback competition,
And
here.
it's not Derek. Some people might get it confused. It's his
David.
brother David.
Yeah.
Who hasn't played football.
Who's an
I don't know
analyst
how long.
now.
Yeah, he is on the NFL Network. But he in a throwing drill, kind of like a playful
Well,
contest.
yeah, a little game.
And completely destroyed Dak in accuracy. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. And Amari Cooper, who's had a little case of the dropsies here and there with Oakland, as far as value when you pick where his pick was, he was kind of up in the air still, I think. Last year he definitely improved and helped the Dallas Cowboys to get to the playoffs because they were in trouble before that. But I don't think he needs to be getting that big paid. He wants to get paid too as well.
He
And
wants
Zeke,
top wide
That's a
receiver
whole
money.
nother. Yeah, and that's a whole nother story here. Zeke is your bread and butter. This is your workhorse here that you need to get in there. But
Right.
Joe and I have also brought up the fact that it's a little early, and he maybe should have been talking to his agent about, listen, let's not make the rumblings right here and
now.
push the ship too much.
Yeah, when you
before
got-
it all goes down.
When you got 2 years left on your current deal, plus a fifth-year team option, because he was a first-round pick, I'm sorry, the Cowboys are like, why should we have to pay you right now in the middle of your contract? We understand you see everybody else kind of getting money, but Todd Gurley was at the end of his deal when he got his contract, he got his money, and Zeke should just play along with it. Play out this season especially, and next offseason, then maybe inquire about getting a new deal, a long-term deal. And I think it would have worked out better because not so much this season, but next year, the Cowboys get a little bump in salary cap relief. They did give money to Jalen Smith, so that's going to change that amount. But before Jalen Smith's contract, they were due next year to have $70 million under the cap. But now, things have changed. That number's going to drop down a little bit, and money can't go to everybody. So I don't know about that.
Mike Tackett chimes in. He says, interesting fact. Here we go. Dak has 32 wins since 2016, second in the NFL. Largest quarterback contracts per year wins since 16. Russell Wilson, $35 million, 29 to Ben Roethlisberger. What was that?
31?
35 million, 29. Oh, okay.
34.
All right. I got it. And well, 29. Here we go. It's wins. Comments keep
Right.
popping up. Holy moly. All right, here we go. Russell Wilson, 35 million, 29 wins. Ben Roethlisberger, 34 million, 31 wins. Aaron Rodgers 35 or 33 and a half, 20. Carson Wentz 32 million and 23 wins. Matt Ryan 30 million and 28 wins. All right, that could be an interesting fact, but
it is an interesting fact, but I still think that Dak is not worth that crazy.
Right. And the thing is, when you're talking about wins, it's not all the quarterback.
It's a team win.
It's a team win. I could say maybe more of it for Russell Wilson and some of the other guys, because Russell Wilson, God's brought this up too. He was playing without an offensive line at times, and he's made things happen with his legs and stuff and getting it done.
Right.
And Carson Wentz, sure, he's had some great wins too, and he's made some plays here. But it's still, the door's open for him still too. And again, Matt Ryan, you're talking about who had a great defense too, along with the offensive weapons that he had. There's a lot of different things all in between this whole thing. So that's what you sound like a Cowboy fan sometimes when you bring up stuff like this. But anyways, Swervo Gaming, OBJ still taking shots at the Giants, saying the Giants sent him to the Browns to die, which doesn't really make sense either. No, it doesn't. I don't know if it was somebody asked him a question about it again. I don't know if he was still bringing it up just on his own.
Here's the thing is, I mean, we talked about this to exhaustion right now.
Yeah.
OBJ, get the hell over it.
Mm-hmm.
The Giants traded you away. You're on a new team. Just worry about your own team. Quit worrying about the Giants. I mean, really, are you jealous? Like, what's the deal? I don't get it. I mean, just get over it. Move on. You're with another team. Be done. Mm-hmm. And we got Mike Tackett in there. What do you say?
He said, no way I'm advocating for the Dak Prescott, but I find it be very interesting. Yeah, I mean, with numbers, you can find it interesting for a lot of different things. But yeah, I mean, you're gonna find. I was running parallels with Brett Favre and Blake Bortles for a while, so that was fun and that was interesting to me because they were pretty much on parallel at the same pace. It's just that Blake Bortles had gone the opposite way.
He just went south.
He just couldn't bring it together. Not like Brett Favre could. But the Cowboys here, again, it's same thing, same team as we had last year. But you get Jason Witten retiring from unretiring and coming back, but doing it, not the announcing anymore. And another year with this defense. I mean, it's interesting with this division. This division for the Cowboys, I think, for me, is ripe for the taking. Now, what do you think about the Cowboys and their chances here, Joe?
The Cowboys are interesting because they got a lot of crap going on right now. Zeke holding out. Dak kind of like upset at the fact that he was going to get $30 million. I don't know why you would be. If he takes that deal, he's making like mid-20s million dollars more than what his current deal is. Mm-hmm. So he's almost like just doubling, tripling what he's making for this upcoming season. Why wouldn't you take that deal? If the Cowboys are willing to give you $30 million per year, if he was on any other team, I don't think they even make that offer. I don't think he's that special of a quarterback. But wow, I mean, for him to turn that down, to basically slap the front office in the face and say, "Nah, you got to do better than that. I'm worth more than that. My ego is bigger than that." You know what I mean? That's the same thing that Zeke has. Zeke has a big ego, and until they come off their pedestal and realize, hey, maybe we should work with the team instead of work against the team on these contracts and try to keep as many players together, because all you're doing is, if the more money that goes to you two guys, the less money goes to making the team better and keeping the current players. Mm-hmm. So for me, I have big concern about the offense right now. Mm-hmm. The offensive line, for one thing, Tyron Smith still has back issues. There's some concerns there. Can he even be healthy for week 1? And if he is, how much longer is he going to be able to hold up physically? And he's their cornerstone in this offensive line. They got a couple of younger pieces like Connor Williams, who's starting to come into his own at left guard. Travis Frederick is making a return healthy for them at center, which is huge. Zach Martin wants money. Mm-hmm. This is another player that's going to command a lot top dollar at guard. Will they be able to get the deal done? I don't know. Maybe next year. Maybe. But again, do you see Zach Martin holding out? No, I see him there working his tail off. And La'el Collins, I think he's a good player, but I still have questions about him, just how good he actually is. So In years past, I saw this offensive line as one of the best, hands down. Now, I'm seeing some chinks in this armor that necessarily they have weak points here and there. So that's a little concerning for me. The Amari Cooper thing, he's working out. Do I think he's going to get elite top 1-2 ranked type of receiver money? Hell no. I'm sorry. He's just not that special of a wide receiver. And Jim mentioned that he had the case of the dropsies in Oakland. Well, towards the end of the last season, he had the same thing going on. He wasn't as sure-handed as he was when he first got to Dallas. And probably because they started to stretch the field with him more. Maybe it's a focus thing, a concentration thing with him. But until that gets resolved, I don't see him being a big difference. But the one guy that I really am high on is Michael Gallup. I think this year is going to be a breakout year for Michael. Coming into a second year at wide receiver, I see him kind of taking off. And after that, we look at Tony Pollard. That's right. We're going to talk a little about Tony Pollard here because if Zeke doesn't report, Jerry Jones and company are kind of, they're really high on this kid. And they really do believe in him. He can receive out of the backfield. He's a little faster and shiftier than him because he's a little bit lighter. But he could end up being very well the starting running back if Zeke does not report going forward. Plus, they also signed Alfred Morris for some depth there, too, in case Zeke didn't show up as well. And defensively, I'm high on this defense. I really do like the defense. Most of the players are coming back again. Sean Lee, good riddance. Maybe you're done for the rest of your career because yet again he gets injured. Jalen Smith gets his money. He's locked in. Leighton Vander Esch, watch for him to take another step forward in this defense. Anthony Brown, Xavier Wood. I mean, the list goes on. I think throughout this defense, especially the secondary, they're really solid. What's going to be interesting is Robert Quinn. Robert Quinn's a long-standing veteran, and he kind of has bounced to, now he's going from the Rams to the Dolphins, now he's with the Cowboys, all via trade. And I think he's at the end of his career. I don't think he's as dynamic as he once was, and it might not work into his favor for this upcoming season. But all in all, this defense I'm looking forward to. I think they're going to be solid. The offense, to me, is now a big question mark with everything going on.
Yeah, so it's interesting to see what's going to go on there in Dallas. Swervo Gaming chimes in. He's talking about Odell. He's going to get over it. What happened with him with the field goal net was pretty embarrassing. And I hope him the best in Cleveland. What it must be. Excited to see what he can do. It could be.
It might be because he was ripped apart from the love of his life.
It could be. That
kicking net, they had a very strong bond.
I know.
And maybe because New York decided to trade him away from it, maybe he's just that upset
he couldn't do the long-distance relationship.
Yeah, it's not working out too well.
Yeah, there are many kicking nets, but that one was his.
That one was his.
I know.
Correct.
It's tough. But so we're talking about the Giants. Let's hit up the Giants, where Gaz was calling out all Giants fans and said he thinks that the wide receiving core is trash. And
wow.
His
strong words.
Yeah, they're garbage. And
you do realize that you live in New York, Gaz, right?
Yeah, I know. And then he also went on to say that when we played the Marry, Kill, Sex, Friend kind of game with him, he said he was killing the Giants. He thinks they're going to be terrible this year. So on the other hand, I think their schedule is really welcoming to them.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I think the picks that they drafted are really looking great in the offseason here. They're getting reps here and there, and they're making plays. And with even the suspension of Golden Tate and Sterling Shepard breaking his thumb a little bit or straightening it, you're getting to see a little more of these guys here, and they're getting their reps. And that's what we needed to do, is get these guys out there with the first team and stuff, getting the reps in, getting used to being out there together with the offense, because that's what we've always seen in the last couple of years here. Sterling Shepard going down, Odell Beckham, even though when he's on the field he's producing, but he was getting injured too every time. And, you want to blame Eli for the problems and stuff. But they got Saquon Barkley again. He's going to light it up here. The one thing with Paul Perkins bringing him back, I think they should just cut him again automatically because he just looks terrible. This is garbage. Not even practice squad. I want to see more of Rod Smith. I liked what he was doing in Dallas. I like that they brought him in here. I want to see more of him, too. Wayne Goldman, I forget that guy, too. I don't really like him. Some people like him here and there. But, dude, the dude just cannot – if you want to set him up to be a receiving back, Not going to happen. He drops all the time, turns into a pick six or whatever. Garbage.
Many
I don't need
mistakes
him there.
were made.
All right, but they did go and get Kevin Zeitler to add to the offensive line here. And Remmers, too. Also, Mike Remmers here from Minnesota. That was a great pickup for them, too, to shore up this offensive line. And if John Halapio can stay healthy here this season, I'm liking what they're doing here with the offensive line. You could see what we're starting to do a little bit with the offense. It doesn't look, I mean, it is preseason, but still, when the offensive or the first team is out there, they're moving the ball a little bit. They're getting comfortable, and Eli doesn't look so stressed out here. They're making plays. I'm liking what the Giants are doing here, too. They go and draft Dexter Lawrence here at the DN spot. You know, that's a great guy to bring in here. DeAndre Baker. He looks good in the offseason too as well, so we can see what this defense is going to start to look like here for the Giants. And I see some better things here for the Giants. Joe, what do you think?
Absolutely, and unlike Gaz, I'm kind of like I'm a little above average on the Giants. I think the Giants are going to do a decent job this season. I don't think they're going to implode like they did last year due to injuries, due to just terrible offensive line play still, even though they tried to upgrade it. Just things didn't roll their way last year. And in this season, despite Golden Tate being suspended for the first 4 games, I still think they can get by with guys like Benny Fowler and Russell Shepard and Cody Latimer. I think those guys are going to be key pieces for the first 4 weeks for this offense, and I think they're going to do a good job. You still have Sterling Shepard as well. And Evan Ingram, if he can stay healthy, he could have a big-time breakout year. I mean, there's been a lot of reports out of training camp that he's just been almost unblockable most of the time in training camp. You know, it's hard for anybody to stay with him. Safeties, linebackers, you name it. So offensively, I think they have enough firepower to sustain the loss of Golden Tate. And by doing so, and you brought up a great point, is the offensive line has gotten even more of an upgrade this year. We do know Nate Solder needs help next to him. He can't be the lockdown left tackle like he was supposed to be early on in his career. But now he has Will Hernandez coming back for a second year. They've established some chemistry after 1 season together. I think that's going to improve the play of Nate Solder as well as Will Hernandez. John Halapio, he was gone for the year last year, was supposed to be the starter.
Yeah.
And now he's finally healthy. He will be returning to the Giants with the Odell Beckham a trade. They get Jabril Peppers. That's a big win for them.
Absolutely.
They also get Kevin Zeitler in a trade that I think is a great move. Yeah. I think they're getting a proven Pro Bowl type of guard to put right in on the right side, which was a major weakness for them last year. That's a big upgrade. And Mike Remmers, another vet who's been with the Vikings most of his career, now comes to the Giants to hold it down at the right side there as well. So I think all in all, this offensive line has gotten much better, has more veteran leadership, and I think it's going to look really good come week 1.
Yeah, and especially like what Gaz was talking about with the Giants fans flipping out over Odell's gone, oh my goodness, and the people are going to regret saying, oh, we want him gone, he's a cancer, and then all of a sudden, again, oh, we're going to suck. Look what they got with him. Look at the value. You weren't able to get some of these guys. You're not getting Dexter Lawrence without Odell. You're not getting Zeitler without Odell. You know what I mean? You're not getting Jabril Peppers without, the trade with OV and stuff. So this is what we're talking about here.
Yeah, it's the
Getting
amount
rid of those guys that their money was there. You free up the money for one, and then they get the value.
It's
with what
the
they
amount of compensation they got in return just for Odell and Olivier Vernon.
Yep.
Olivier Vernon, they got a Pro Bowl type of guard. Odell alone, they got draft picks. They got Jabril Peppers to fulfill that loss of Landon Collins leaving. So, I mean, I think they've done a great job with this trade, with a couple of those trades with the Browns. And also with those draft picks that they inherited, they got Dexter Lawrence. They got perhaps their future quarterback in Daniel Jones. They get another corner that they were in much need of in DeAndre Baker. So I think they've done a great job with the draft picks. I think they've done a great job with the trades. And I think it's going to pay off. Maybe it doesn't pay off instantly, but I think in the long run, I think they're going to be better off for doing it. And defensively,
Well, Joe,
yes.
we have a new know-it-all in the house.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
The Pokey Fella from YouTube joins
love it.
in here in the show.
right.
Odell Beckham Jr. is a diva, and it's a good thing they got rid of him. Absolutely. Like
100%.
I posted it. It's one of our videos,
Definitely.
I think, that's still on YouTube, where I was shouting, I'm like, we should just get rid of him,
Yeah.
get value, and you're better off a team without the diva wide receiver. Yes,
attitude,
he's
everything, all
popular,
the
and
antics.
he can make plays. But again, also one thing you did notice about Odell Beckham Jr. is some of the bigger plays he would just drop. You're making spectacular catches, but then some of the plays where you think you should have it,
Right.
his mind wasn't there, and he'd drop it. What about them? He doesn't want to bring that up, right? But he's still crushed. Again, and what's funny is about the New York Giants players and fans, we're all like kind of like, wow, dude, really? You're still talking about this? We're over this already. We're looking good in preseason. We love Daniel Jones right now. You know what I mean? So it's kind of funny how it's all going. And I could see him getting Pro Bowl numbers. Sterling Shepard, he says about Sterling Shepard, will have a big breakout season. We
could.
hope so. I hope so, because I've been down on Sterling Shepard. I'm waiting for him to change my mind. He needs to stay healthy, first of all. But then again, be part of this team. Make it work. I want to see all this other youth around here, and Evan Ingram as well. Same thing. Stay healthy.
Yeah.
I want to be able to see what happens with this team.
They have
I've been
great
looking for
talent,
this for a
both of them
long
do.
time. And Mike Tackett joins it. I think Jerry Jones signing Jalen Smith to a long-term extension when he could have signed Zeke, Dak, or Amari Cooper to a long-term deals sends a message to
Absolutely.
Zeke and the rest of those players wanting a new contract. Way too early. Shut up and play. Absolutely. That's what we brought up. That's what
Exactly.
we've been saying.
Yep.
And that's the thing. That is a message. He just said, this was your money, and now I'm spending it on somebody else who, I definitely knew I needed to take care of, but I'm just going to take care of him first now. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. And then
thank you for chiming in, everybody.
That's right.
Pokefella, I think that's how you said it, because we're like a Pokemon. The Pokefella, pleasure having you in here with the know-it-alls.
Absolutely. Welcome. Now you are once officially a know-it-all. Welcome back. And hopefully we continue this journey together moving forward.
Yeah, so what do you think of the New York Giants defense
So
here now?
real quick with the Giants defense, here's one thing is I'm sorry, I got to bring this up. Madden, we know that you screwed up a lot of ratings, but Alec Ogletree is like really low. Like he's like a 74 or something that when he had a great season last year, he's got to at least be like an 84, 85, somewhere in that range. They really messed that up. Sorry, I just had to get that off my chest. But all in all, they got a young defense. They're slowly growing this defense. There's a few names that you got to be aware of, too, is after this draft, the play of DeAndre Baker in the first round that they've taken him, Julian Love in the fourth round. These are cornerbacks that you need to keep your eye on because I think they could really help this secondary as soon as this year. These are guys that had great careers in college football. They could end up having great careers in the NFL. Janoris Jenkins is still there. Still the aging corner is still making plays. He's doing it in training camp. So they have some veteran leadership there in that cornerback position. Antoine Bethea is making plays as well. We know he's a little bit longer in the tooth, but then again, he's just a stopgap safety. As long as he can hold it down for 1 year, that's all the Giants are looking for. And I'm really excited about the 3-4 defense now in their second year, how much better they're going to play on the football field. Lorenzo Carter didn't get a ton of reps last year, but this year he's aiming to be a starter. He's looking deadly off the edge. He's a guy to keep an eye on. Kareem Martin also playing the Sam position. These guys, and Marcus Golden. Not long ago for the Arizona Cardinals, Marcus Golden was the leader in sacks. And I think he can return to that, especially coming off an injury. B.J. Goodson, there's a lot to like with this linebacking core. The secondary's young. The defensive line's young. Let's see how they come together and develop chemistry. Who knows? This could be a surprising defense this year.
Yeah, the Pokefella says they showed disrespect to the Giants because of the record. And to be honest, I agree with that Alex should be higher. Swerval Gaming says Fowler's going to be a good wide receiver this year, I think. Yeah, I think he looks pretty good in preseason. There's a couple of these guys that look really nice. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, they're getting
Cody
the reps.
Latimer.
They're all looking really, really nice. Even I don't know how far he's going to make it on the depth chart here, but I like Reggie White Jr. I think he looks like he's making plays. And even T.J. Jones, you're seeing the Jones-Jones connection a lot here and there. Where
and he's a newly signed free agent. As soon as Golden Tate went down, they did go ahead and pull off a signing, which was unlikely because when you looked at the list of free agents, you're like, big-time name, like Crabtree was there. Des Bryant was there. This guy was there. That guy was there. And then you look down a little bit farther on the list, and T.J. Jones. T.J. who?
Yeah.
He played for the Detroit
Yeah, the
Lions.
Lions, yeah.
He did a fairly good job for them, but then he ended up getting cut right at the deadline. So, lot to like about him. He's a very young kid. He seems to be grasping the playbook well, and he's performing well during preseason, which might earn him a roster spot.
Pokefella, he's a Michigan State Spartans fan. He hopes Fowler does well because from the Michigan State Spartans.
Absolutely.
Here we go. TJ Jones is a sleeper, no doubt. Yeah, who knows?
Yep.
That's what I mean. It's interesting. I think some people, again, because of the record, people still want to hate on Eli and stuff. And I tell you, it's so bad.
It's also because the fact that they have a lot of they're not big names.
Yeah.
So people kind of just overlook them because well, what kind of stars do they have?
They have Saquon. That's it. Bye.
Saquon. That's all we know.
Yeah.
Odell's not there. Oh, then they're going to be terrible. Sorry, one guy doesn't make a team.
Yeah, and it's in a division where I think this division is going to be tighter than some people think.
Absolutely, it always is.
Yeah,
Always is.
Oh yeah, they always play each other hard, and when you look at the schedule, I think it kind of favors them at times. So we'll see where it goes further with that. Let's move on to the Philadelphia Eagles now. The one question mark we had about this since they moved on from Nick Foles was,
That's right.
what are they going to do with that backup quarterback position? You had Nate Sudfeld. And who else do they have as the backup quarterback? Well, they're both injured
It
right
doesn't
now.
matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. So they so much that they had to go out and they got Josh McCown out of retirement,
Which
He
I think
comes
is an
back.
upgrade.
It is. No, that's great. Him with Carson Wentz because he can. There's stuff he can still teach Carson Wentz even there on the sidelines. So that's great. So that's a great spot for the Eagles to jump in there. But it's just kind of funny. That was the question around this whole thing, and they both go down, and then so now everybody's again is hoping that that Carson Wentz stays healthy. This team does a little bit of a shift here. Now they get Deshaun Jackson back. He comes home back to Philadelphia finally after his little stint in the Buccaneers and not really getting a lot of action. They get now Jordan Howard too at the running back position here too. So we'll see what happens with Jordan Howard and see if they run him to his advantage, the way he should be running, not spread him out to the sides and here and there and not north and south. I would like to see him, pound the rock here and dish it off to Corey Clement. He's going to get some spreads here. Smallwood, too, as well. They go and draft Miles Sanders, too, in the second round. He's going to get some touches here, too.
Pick.
So it's interesting to see where the running game's going to go. And, by the way, you still have Zach Ertz there, who is a great tight end, really lit it up last year and showed that he's one of the top tight ends in the NFL.
Absolutely, and when you talk about Zach Ertz, you also got to talk about his counterpart in Dallas Goedert. He's an upcoming tight end that I think a lot of Philadelphia fans are going to be very happy with for the coming years. Zach Ertz isn't ready to kind of hand off the torch just yet. Still in his prime, still can play well, but nonetheless, they got like a two-headed monster at tight end. And you already brought up, Deshaun Jackson returning back home once again. A deep threat that they've needed for quite some time. Nelson Aguilar kind of had his down year was last season. Didn't really play up to what they expected him to. Maybe this year because he's getting pushed right now by Arcega-Whiteside, a rookie that from the second round. I think he's really pushing Nelson Aguilar for a spot. So that's an interesting battle until we get to week one. Offensive line, let's just say this right here and now. If this offensive line does not stay healthy, this Eagles offense is going to be hurt by it because if they cannot protect Carson Wentz, if Carson Wentz can't protect himself by either sliding or getting out of bounds and not taking the hits, then this team is going to be headed possibly, for the wrong turn here and not making the playoffs. But all in all, when you look at the defense is pretty stout, even minus Michael Bennett, which they moved on from. He is now a New England Patriot. But the linebacking core is kind of being cultivated a little bit. They're changing some players out. They added some new linebackers like Zach Brown, who's going to come in, and I think he's going to be an absolute stud at outside linebacker for the Eagles. Nigel Bradham coming over from Buffalo. He signs. He's going to be their middle linebacker. And a couple of guys that are kind of just out there, rookie TJ Edwards, LJ Fort, he's coming over from the Steelers. That's interesting to see where he's going to be placed in the end. Kamu Grunger Hill is a player right now slated to be the other starting linebacker. So it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of all works out. But, man, when you look at the defensive line, though, this defensive line on paper is not only just stout, but incredibly talented. You know, Malik Jackson comes over from the Jaguars to fill a spot there with Tim Jernigan also kind of rotating in at D-tackle, but Fletcher Cox, Derek Barnett, who was injured last year, returning back. He's going to be here for his third season coming into this year. He looks much like the pass rusher that they drafted for. And Brandon Graham, one of the most stout defensive ends in the league. So all in all, this team is looking to make a comeback on defense. I see them yet again being a top 10 defense this upcoming season, along with this secondary. Malcolm Jenkins, he's holding out. He wants a new deal, but
it's tough. That's just going to be like a cash out. Like, hey, thank you for all the support you've been doing. That can't be honestly long term. There might be what he's kind of looking for.
Because he is a little older.
Yeah.
He's a little older in age. So I think they might be able to work out something small just to get over this hump here. But they do have some young corners. Sidney Jones has to remain healthy and perform well. Ronald Darby, another guy coming back from injury. So all in all, defense is still solid. Defense is still growing. And we'll wait to see just how well the Eagles are going to perform.
Yeah. And here we go. Swervo Game saying it's not Eli's fault. Last year was good. Still, their record didn't look good, but Eli was not the whole problem. And what's funny with that whole thing is I was looking at their schedule right here, and I remembered watching a lot of these games. They could have went either way a lot of these games, and certain teams that they played were playoff teams. The Jaguars, they only lost by 5 points. Check this out at week 1. They lost to the Panthers 31-33 by only 2 points here. The Falcons, they lost to the Falcons by 3 points. They lost to the Eagles by 3 points. They beat the Bears by 3 points. See, this is what I mean. They've beaten teams that are playoff teams too. And they lost to the Colts by 1 point, and they lost to the Cowboys by 1 point. And that's towards the end of the season, because even people want to say, well, towards the end of the season they played well. Well, they lost the last 3 games. So did they play well at the end of the season? Don't know so much. There was just a bunch of games in the middle here and there where they could have won it, and they just couldn't get it going just for some reason. Sputtering, a lot of dish downs, and who knows that fault that was. Maybe the receivers weren't getting open as much. But there's games they could have had, and we could be looking at them differently. Definitely this team. Here we go. And also, what we got here? Looking up, it says Josh McCown was looking good with the Jets that one season until he got hurt. Yeah, absolutely, and that's why I think it's a great pick for them to have. Right underneath Carson Wentz.
100%.
It's another security blanket to have who's been around, who can do something. I mean, look at that Jets team. They didn't have a lot of special players there either, and he was winning some games.
Right,
they were looking pretty good. And then he got hurt diving for the end zone, and flipped and fumbled. Talking about McCown, it's funny because the same thing happened to Carson Wentz diving for the end zone, hurt himself. So it's just maybe that's the conversation in camp. Whatever you guys do not dive for the end zone. Just slide. All right, what's the next? The Michael Vick comes out of retirement and help the Eagles, right? Yeah, I know. That's what Pokemon fella says. Yeah, right. Imagine that. I can't wait to watch Wentz versus Foles. Yeah, same thing with us. Absolutely. I think that's going to be a cool matchup here. They're going to shake hands and have fun, and everybody's friends there. But when it all comes down, it's going to be great to see these two teams go head-to-head here. To be a successful franchise in the NFL, Mike Tackett says, you need a successful core 4. The Eagles have that in their owner, GM, head coach, and QB. They should run the NFC East for the next 5 years handedly. Maybe. I don't know about that, though.
Jim's not sure.
I'm not sure. I'm not sold on that, Mike, but thank you for the input. I shouldn't have lost to the Panthers. We lost on a 62-yard field goal. That happened with the Eagles, too. I think the Eagles beat them just barely with a long one, too. And, there was plenty of games that they could have had. They lost it. Pokemon fella says if they would have won all the games they lost by less than a touchdown, they would have been a playoff team. Yeah, right? I know. And that's why it was frustrating watching the games, because you could see things. They're like, wow, they're still in this game. They're just making mistakes right now.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm like, but they're still in this game. So if we can get the team to stay in the game too as well and limit the mistakes and get that offense going. Right. And again, mind you, offensive line, people, I know people don't like to hear injuries explaining all that stuff, but dude, their offensive line was getting, they had their third starter, their third depth
center.
Center. Yeah. Exactly. You know what I mean? And Nate Solder wasn't playing as well, and I was afraid of when they picked him up. I told you. I mean, I don't like this Nate Solder signing. I don't think it's right. It's, you gave a guy money, and he's not going to do that well. And he really didn't do so
To
well.
be fair, the Giants were desperate, and
No, I
they
hear you
didn't-
there.
and
And
they
he
lost
was the
out on
better
Andrew
guy out
Norwell.
right now. Right.
That's really who they were targeting. They were going to give him all the money.
Yeah.
And he chose the Jaguars instead. So unfortunately, it didn't go the Giants' way, and they end up having to settle for Nate Solder.
Right. And Swervo Gaming says, I'm excited to see Saquon Barkley behind this offensive line, considering last year's line wasn't as good. Yeah, me too. I mean, I hope it's going to be better. It looks so.
Look what he
so far
did
it
with
looks-
that
it's
line.
good. Yeah.
I mean,
right?
now with an improved line, whoo! Watch out, defenses.
Yeah, definitely. So now let's move on to the Washington Redskins now, where, Ty Hedgecock is here. What's up, brother?
All right, what's going on, Ty? How you been, brother?
All right, and now Hernandez has experience. Yes, that's one thing, too. That's a
Right.
great point, Swervo Gaming, because you could see last year where him being a rookie, kind of he got exploited a little bit at times. You know, that's where some of the holes were going. And hopefully with the now veteran kind of line they have now here,
Right.
talking to him, showing him things to look for, helping him out, he can have a better season, too,
And all
this
in
season.
all, for
Absolutely.
Will Hernandez, you know, just like any other rookie, when you first show up to camp and you get thrust into a starting spot, because his talent did command that position, there's still a learning curve. You know, whether even if he knew the playbook hands down, front to back, no problem, he's still got to learn the nuances of the game and how fast it is. Now coming into his second year, you're going to see a more pristine technique. You're going to see him. He's also already stronger because he's not in school anymore. So now he just gets to work out all the time. Dive right into the playbook, get to know all the nuances. In his second year, you're going to see a big step forward for Will Hernandez. You're going to see a lot more confident Will Hernandez and more devastating of a guard that he is.
There you go. Pokemon Fella says, if the defense can step up and Saquon has a monster year, the Giants can make the playoffs in Eli's possible last season. Who knows? Again, I
Anything's
think
possible any
anything's
given
possible
Sunday.
with any of these games. You never know, and we'll see. You don't know. That's why they play the games. Hernandez, Swervo Gaming says, can really pull block good. When you look at film, he gets out there pretty fast and gets downfield if he needed to. Yeah, absolutely there. And Eli's possible last season, you know, something funny about that. I didn't bring this up on the air, I don't think. But I have a bet now going with 104.5 The Team ESPN Radio about Daniel Jones. And I want to ask you guys about this. What is your opinion? Like, he was so boastful about this and so confident, and I'm so confident now that I joined in with him, that he said if they somehow, like Pat Shurmur loves Daniel Jones so much that he wants to start Daniel Jones week 1 over Eli Manning, that he would dress up as one of the members of the Blue Man Group. Two of his other coworkers joined in, and then I heard this, and I said, yeah, absolutely not. This is not going to happen. So I joined in as well. So if Daniel Jones is the starter for the New York Giants,
That's right.
and that doesn't mean if Eli's injured or suspended, blah,
Right.
blah, blah. If they pick
Doesn't
him
count.
as the starter and he is named a starter, first play of the game, week 1, I have to dress up as one of the Blue Men Group along with those 3 other fellas and go to their radio station and embarrass myself.
That's right.
But I do not think that's going to happen. That's how confident I am because, again, you start the veteran still. He's got the experience. Let him learn under him. Even though Daniel Jones is looking good right now, he's still really raw. And I would like to just have him nip and tuck a little, learn some things, get cleaner, and take it
Yeah,
easy. Take
exactly,
it easy.
exactly.
We don't need to rush, man.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing about this whole situation is, unlike a lot of other teams like the Washington Redskins, they're in a little bit of a pickle.
Yeah.
Even though they're claiming that Case Keenum is going to be the starter because he's a veteran, it's almost like you could get away with starting Dwayne Haskins because he could grow faster if he's out there and playing versus sitting behind Case Keenum, which I don't think he's going to learn a whole heck of a lot behind Case, even though he is a decent backup quarterback. Now with the Giants, they have a great luxury. They got a proven Pro Bowl type of quarterback in Eli Manning. He's won 2 Super Bowls with this team with really no receivers. I mean, they made the Super Bowl twice and beat the Patriots twice with not even having a great receiving core.
Yeah,
so,
that's the thing that people don't bring up.
But here's the thing is, like the Giants, they have a great luxury here. They have Eli Manning who can still teach Daniel Jones at the same time start for them. and groom Daniel Jones through one whole year, and then maybe the following season hand the torch over to Daniel, saying, now it's on you, buddy.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I
Let
think
the
that's a
contract
smart
run out.
play.
They let it ride. No doubt. Pokemon Fella says, if you were the head coach of the Redskins, who's starting for you in Week 1? Keenum, Haskins, or McCoy?
And that's the thing. Here's the thing with Colt McCoy, though. Colt McCoy, to me, has to be 100% healthy.
Yeah.
He's coming back from a catastrophic injury. How healthy is he at this point? Can he get healthy and in game shape by Week 1? There's only a couple more weeks until we hit that regular season. So I'm curious to know where Colt McCoy is in his recovery right now. If you told me today he's 100% good, he can run, he can do everything, I would say I would put Colt McCoy in before Case Keenum, because I have a little bit more confidence in McCoy handling the every snap. He's been in this offense before, is more comfortable with it, and knows all the checks and balances. He's a vet that I would have confident in starting right now. But because that's uncertain, I'm almost curious to see what Haskin can do. As a rookie, he's going to struggle. Every rookie does. We've seen Sam Darnold last year. He got thrown into the Wolves. He struggled a lot, had a lot of turnovers, a lot of interceptions. You got to expect that out of your rookie quarterback, just coming right in and starting right away. But I would like to see him grow, see him learn some new concepts, see him learn from his mistakes throughout the year. And with the help of Colt McCoy on the sideline helping him, and with the help of Case Keenum on the sideline, I think he could develop a little bit faster having that game experience. Because let's be honest, Washington Redskins are not in win-now mode.
Right.
So because of that would be my decision. I would start Haskin now with those two veterans behind him, helping him along the way, and giving him that much-needed game experience through his first season.
And I kind of agree
What do
with
you
you
think,
here,
buddy?
too, as well, just because, I would like to see Case Keenum out there because he did get brought into there to maybe start for this team. But the way it's set up now, this, again, saves Jay Gruden's his job. This whole setup here. People don't realize that sometimes.
It's like a reset button.
He
when
could
you
have been
draft a
gone
quarterback.
already. All right, this guy has been able to last because they've had quarterbacks come in and out, get injured, fall out. So it's not exactly his fault, because of injuries and stuff. They're not winning.
Right.
So he gets another young quarterback. He's supposed to be a guy that can help groom these quarterbacks. Like Joe said, I don't think they have anything to win. For some reason, some people think that they're in the mix to take the division. I think you got to pump the brakes here. And if Dwayne Haskins looks good in the camp and he's learning from you and he's listening to you, throw him out there a little bit, as long as you don't think he's going to get decked and to be beat up. Yes, they have Eric Flowers out there now, but he is playing in a guard position.
Different position.
I like him in the guard position
Yeah.
than the tackle position. He
Right.
looks a lot better there, too. And you got Paul Richardson as a weapon there to give it the ball to, too, which I like better than
one
the
big
former.
problem, and you know it as left tackle,
Yeah.
is Trent coming back.
Yeah, that's the
to this
big issue.
team. If he does
doesn't
not,
want to.
and this is predicated on my decision as well. If Trent does not come back to play that left tackle spot, I'm not putting Haskin out there. I don't trust whoever's out there at left tackle. I don't want my rookie quarterback getting blasted all the time. But if he's there, I'm starting Haskin all day long. But that, again, that's a big question mark that you got to
like you
consider.
said, you have nothing really to lose here, so why not? We'll see how it goes. Just take everything kind of calmly. Try and work and get this team better and where they need to be, and we'll see what goes on moving forward for them. All right, Keenum's college stats prove that he should be a starter in his league, but Bill O'Brien kind of ruined his chances of that, saying he would never be more than a third string. That's what Pokemon Fella says here.
Yeah.
And I think Swervo Gaming says, I think Keenum should start, let Dwayne learn and grow, and just watch the next level and understand it. Important not to rush someone, get them hurt. Yeah. Well, I said situational.
Right.
The same thing. It's like if Case Keenum can hold the ship down and he can learn a little bit from him, but then maybe get some reps, he's not going to get decked, not get destroyed, beat up. I mean, we've seen it with quarterbacks, too, when they go out there. Look at, you talked about David Carr. We brought him up earlier. I felt bad for him in Texas, for the Houston Texans. He just got battered and beaten and destroyed to where you never really got to see what he could really do. Just was a tackling dummy. You know what I mean?
And real quick, I want to touch
Sure.
on something, too, is if Trent doesn't if he does not show up, and he does hold out, in fact, they did sign Donald Penn out of free agency, and he is a little bit older. He's like 36 years old, but I think he's serviceable enough still. If he's 100% healthy, he could really hold down that left tackle position. So But again, when you're playing with your rookie, you can't be too careful here. You don't want him to get destroyed. And if Trent really isn't coming back, you got to kind of play with that idea like Swervo Gaming was mentioning earlier too, that maybe you do have to throw in Case Keenum. Maybe you have to just let one of the veterans go out there and play it out. But for me, if you're using any one of those veterans, if he's healthy, Colt McCoy all day long. Knows the playbook, knows the team very well. I think that would be a more successful decision. But Jay Gruden has been known to make some terrible ones, so we'll see how he handles this team this year. And to be honest, I think he will be on the hot seat regardless if he has another failed season, which we're expecting.
Yeah.
Because I know he drafted this quarterback, and that usually hits the reset button. It usually gives you a little bit, like 2 or 3 more years on your thing. But let's face it, he's worked with Kirk Cousins, who's not a bad quarterback, and has still lost games. So I think, all in all, I think he has a very short leash at this point.
Well, yeah, even he had RG3 at one point, too, and he had both quarterbacks and failed miserably.
Right.
You know, he had good
He's
talent
had plenty
around
of
him.
chances.
Yeah,
Let's say that.
Absolutely. Brandon Copeland got suspended 4 games, right? It says Swervo Gaming. Yep,
Correct.
4 games, yep. Pokey fella said same thing happened with my Jags. We rushed Bortles in there, and then look what happened. Blake Bortles is a funny thing. I wish you had followed our podcast a few years ago, too, because we had a lot of fun with Blake Bortles, and we thought maybe the issue to why he was playing so poorly is that his tongue, it goes waggling out of his mouth, and every time he throws, it goes nuts. And it's like he's like got the Michael Jordan tongue, where it's just flying out of there, and it's nuts. And Blake Bortles, he's weird. Sometimes he's like that Madden game. It's like the Madden player. You see a guy, it's like, oh, this guy's deep ball is this or this and this, and then he throws it, and he throws it way the hell over here for some reason. Like, how did he throw that? If his deep ball accuracy is like, a 90. Why did it go way over there or something?
I don't know.
You don't know. Like, what the hell was that? And that's like Blake Bortles is like the walking Madden like glitch. He is the Madden glitch. Yeah, there you go, right there. So, so if you do want to hear some of that too, check out our SoundCloud account too. We have that up there still, I think. So there you go. Hello. Yeah, it's funny when you watch the tape. They've got freeze frames of them. It's pretty funny. But going back to the Washington Redskins though. Again, bringing up now their running game and health. See, this is a lot of keys with some of these teams. Health. That team got diminished here on every level. In the running back position here, Darius Guice. We never got to see what he could do.
No, his rookie year was hurt and he was done for the year. So it's going to be interesting to see how this running back group all shakes out.
I feel that Madden reference. There you go. See what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you look at, they're pretty deep though too. I mean, you look at all these running backs. You got AP, who actually surprised a lot of people last year. You know, even though he's a little older, still is able to perform. He still had over 1,000 yards on the ground. And Darius, is it Guice?
Yeah, it's
Guice.
Guice.
Is it Guice? How do you pronounce it?
It's Guice, I think.
Because I've been asked that, and I'm like, I'm not really sure right now. So Darius Guice
it could
is
be
now
pronounced juice sometimes too. Who knows? Let's call him the juice.
Just put
I
a
don't
J
know.
on there. But anyway, he's going to make a comeback right now. He's vying for some playing time. And a lot of these guys are all coming back off of injury, minus Adrian Peterson. You know, he right now he's projected as the starter. You got Darius Guice. You got Chris Thompson coming back from injury.
Yeah.
He had an amazing season last year.
Yeah, I like Chris Thompson.
Not just running the ball, but also receiving the ball. He was a very big-time weapon for them. And then you also got to look at the 4th-round pick in 2017, Samaj Pirine.
Pirine, yeah.
Yeah, I got it, bro.
Yeah, I know. See,
yeah,
boom.
See that?
See, they
And
like
then-
to draft injury-prone running backs with weird last names.
You also got Byron Marshall. You know, they have a very deep running back group, and it's going to be interesting to see, one, who makes the team, and two, how reps are going to shake out with all this talent. And then on defense, real quick, they are a pretty solid defense. Let's just say that. They were definitely like one of the top 15 defenses last season. They're returning a lot of the players, and they are pretty young. Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, Matt Ioannidis. These are all guys that are very, very stout and very good D linemen. They are now in a 3-4. They are in a 3-4 defense, and their linebacking core is made to rush the quarterback and stop the run. Ryan Anderson playing the one side. Here's the interesting thing: is the rookie, the first-round pick that they traded back into the first round for, is Montez Sweat, and I think this guy is going to make a huge difference off the edge. Definitely going to be pressuring the quarterback and making a lot of plays, I think, for them. I think this season. You also have John Bostic, who's going to hold down that middle linebacker role, as well as Sean Dion Hamilton, and Ryan Kerrigan is returning yet again healthy. He's definitely dangerous. So you're gonna combo Montez Sweat and Kerrigan. It's gonna be tough to stop this defense. This defense is gonna come at you very aggressive. They have Landon Collins at the safety position. They have. They also have Josh Norman returning in. Now, here's an interesting thing.
That's going to be a fun setup, too, when they
Yes.
play the Giants and stuff, so that's going to be pretty interesting.
If Josh Norman makes it.
Yeah.
Because there is talk that because of his salary, because of his age, that they might want to move on from him. Now, they just did sign coming out of retirement. He's unretiring, coming back, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. He took last year off. Exactly. Now that they signed him on the cheap, I don't know. Maybe they might cut Josh Norman. Maybe not. They still have Quentin Dunbar and Fabian Moreau. They're hoping that he can take a step forward, maybe push for that starting job. But all in all, a solid defense to work with. Now it's all about the offense. Jay, what are you going to do, bud?
Yeah,
are you going to be successful or not? You
Pokemon
gotta do
fella,
something.
he chimes in. Joe, check this out. Check this out.
What do
All
we
right,
got?
I love it. How do you guys only have 12 subs? This show is very good to only have 12 subs.
Thank you. Appreciate it very much.
Oh, Pokemon, fella. We love you, man. That's awesome. Well, it's kind of funny, and Swervo Gaming says it right here. We stream on more than one platform. We started as just a podcast that we were doing out on SoundCloud and stuff, but then we turned to video and Facebook Live and started doing more just of a show here.
Yeah, we
like
actually
you
took a
see.
vote.
Yeah. Yeah,
we took a
vote
when we
out
first
there.
started, we were on Facebook. We took a vote with the people that followed us there, and everybody said they wanted to see us on video. So here we are.
Yeah, and then so now we have been slowly with the advancements of the technology we're getting around here and all this other junk that we have all over here and there. We just moved to YouTube, and now we
Correct.
stream on multiple platforms right now. Right now we're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and on Periscope for Twitter right now at the same time too. So everybody can see us. We can get a little more exposure. It's starting to pick up here on YouTube, but you know what? Also, people out there, you guys can help out. If you love our show, that is great. Tell your friends. Tell other people that you might know. Share our videos. Post it to another platform that you know, like your Facebook page. And we're on there as Football on the Know Show on Facebook. And we have a large group right now. We have about 455 members. Come on in and join us with them too, because we post news updates, other conversations too, topics on there as well.
Fantasy football,
Football too. Yeah, definitely. So join, sub there too. We love it there too. We appreciate it. We love that you love our show, and thank you so much for the comments.
Appreciate all the love.
All right.
If you have any friends, family, any even family friends, we'll take anybody.
Yeah.
If they love football and they like interacting with us, they're more than welcome in. Any team, we talk about any team, we talk about any scenario,
do
any
everything.
situation, we do it all. Go
And we
ahead and
have fun.
subscribe on YouTube. Hit the notification bell for all our latest and greatest updated
Joe,
content.
we are running this show really late right
It's
now.
fine.
But
We're
it's
all
fine.
about it. Let's go.
do it. All right. Well, you know what? Let's go to your picks then, Joe. For the
Let's
NFC
go right
East.
to the picks.
Let's go to your picks. Let's see what you have here.
These are our projected picks for the upcoming season. This is how we think everything's going to unfold by the end of the season. My picks, I think the Eagles are going to end up taking this division as long as Carson Wentz stays healthy. That's a big key here. The Giants, I got them kind of pushing the envelope here a little bit. I think that I got them overachieving, if you will, and coming in second. And then the Cowboys, I just don't like the whole scenario. I don't like where this whole situation is going with contracts back and forth. I have questions about Tyron Smith and his injuries. Is it going to stack up? Is he going to be knocked out? We don't know. And then the Redskins, they're in rebuild mode. Let's face it. Do I think they're going to take the league by storm like other people? No, I have them falling dead last in that division. And there you have it,
Here you go. Here's my
Jim.
picks. I'm going with the Cowboys, despite all the turmoil. Listen, I love hearing all this that Jerry Jones is saying
Absolutely.
Ziku, and there's a big laughing thing, and he's having issues, and I love me some Jerry right about now. This is the way I like it here. But you know what? I still think everything settles down. They work together. I like that defense.
Right.
I think all together, if that offensive line, like you said, can stay healthy, they've got this. Maybe the second best running back in the division. We'll see how that pans out. But I think they have what it takes to take this division, in a division where I think it's up and down. I'm still not convinced on the Eagles and what they have altogether here.
Exactly.
Maybe they can, I wasn't convinced before, and then they took the division and won the Super Bowl. So, I mean, I've been wrong before, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm looking at the Cowboys here to take the division in a very close-knit one, and the Eagles to be right there and be a wild card team. The Giants playing better than other people expect, and the Redskins just trying to make it work here, trying to groom their young quarterback, and just trying to make it work here and
to be honest,
a better team.
There's no wrong answer because this division is so tight. Who knows? It just takes one game to flip positions. So,
all right, there you go. We'll get Ty joins in. Ty Hedgecote. I don't know him, but I love this guy already. He says, yes, love the show. Two of the best hosts in the business. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ty.
We try.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. And Swervo says, I'll try and spread the word around to some of my friends. And
Excellent.
I don't know how to share otherwise. I would help with that, too.
No problem.
How do you do? If you are on Twitter or any of the other things, you could probably just, share our YouTube video, bring us to our YouTube channel.
But that's the thing is, like, you could share our actual video, to your timeline and just make a comment, but hey, check these guys out. I just watch these guys, or while you're watching us, share it as you're watching, and then they'll bring people in. That works. That's true.
Swervo Game, who's Zeke? LOL. I can't go for them after that. Yeah, I know. I hear you there, but Tony Pollard is going to be the next James Conner, maybe. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. It's preseason again. Everybody looks good in preseason except for Jimmy Garoppolo, but. Besides that, maybe Pokemon fella takes over for a holdout running back and balls out. Isn't that the way? It's perfect. That's what I'm saying. I'm a Giants fan, and that the Cowboys are having this issue and stuff. That's why I say it works out for me. If I pick the Cowboys and they win, then I'm right. But then if they tumble and fall and crumble and they suck, I feel good about it too. It's all good, baby. You know what I'm saying? So it's a win-win for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just like the video, I think. There you go. Awesome. Thank you very much, Swervo. Thank you. So then, it's a win-win, just like with the Eagles. I'm not an Eagles fan. When the Giants play the Eagles, I hate it when they play, and I want the Giants to win. But you know what? For the Eagles to win, like, their first championship, I felt good for them. It was then against the Patriots. I'd rather see an Eagles win a Super Bowl, one, and then instead of seeing the Patriots continue to keep winning some other ones here and there. So, I mean, your fandom always has to be, on a hinge sometimes with certain teams, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Ty, I've already shared and going live on Facebook in my NFL Talk All 32. Awesome.
All right, nice.
Oh, Ty, okay, from NFL Talk All 32. Awesome. Joe, I used to be part of that group.
You used to?
Yeah, I used to be. My friend's a Giants fan as well, and another guy I watch. That's awesome, man. Excellent pokey fella. Awesome. We were pleasure meeting you, definitely. And so, Joe, how about we move to the AFC East here? We're running behind, but we're having fun. We're meeting new friends and talking.
That's absolutely
NFC East. One of the teams I talked about with Tom Kozlowski from 104.5, the team ESPN Radio, last night, he got to go to the Buffalo Bills team. I was kind of high on this team right now. I'm interested to see what happens with him. He said it looks really good too, and watch out. They were his sexy pick for the up-and-coming season here. Watch out for the Bills.
I know, and here's the thing about the Bills. Now, what was their biggest weakness last year? No receivers. No great offensive line play. It was terrible. It was abysmal. Even LaShawn McCoy, as good of a season as he had to make it all work by himself. He didn't have really much help. So what's interesting to me is now they've added their biggest weakness. They got wide receivers. They got weapons into this team. They have, coming over from Dallas, Cole Beasley, a guy that can play the slot, a guy who's very good at moving the sticks. Also, John Brown makes his appearance now, and now he's going to be pushing on the sideline. He's going to be heading for his burst down the sideline. He's going to try to take the top off the defense. And that's what's interesting most of all is how they're going to adapt this upcoming season. This offense is going to be I think it's going to not only be better, I think it's going to take a big, huge step. Josh Allen is going to be a little bit more comfortable. Now he's got 1 year under this offense. He's got weapons now that he can utilize. The other interesting thing to me is the running back position. LaShawn McCoy's been there for quite some time. He's always been the starter. But what's interesting is, why did they sign Frank Gore? They picked up Christian Wade, who's starting to make a name for himself in preseason.
Rugby player from
and
England. Yeah.
right, ex-rugby player, trying to make this roster. I think he might exactly make this roster as well as he's playing. And Dave Singletary, a rookie that they've taken in the 3rd round, he's also making waves this preseason. He's also making a push to get reps. No doubt in my mind, Dave Singletary will make the team. I think Christian Wade can push and try to make this team as well. But Frank Gore, let's talk about this for a moment here. They signed another aging running back in Frank Gore. They have also signed TJ Yeldon. This is a very packed backfield. And I'm sorry, but LaShawn McCoy, he makes a lot of money. I'm just saying, he could be a casualty, a salary cap casualty before week 1. It's very possible with everything the way it's shaken out.
Yeah, it's a potential with him. We've talked about this with guys. He thinks TJ Yeldon might be the guy that gets bumped out and moved on. Who knows? Maybe they won't lose anything off of that if they do happen to cut him. So that might work out for them. But like you said, 2 veterans, do you really need them that much?
Right.
I mean,
Exactly.
what's the point here? That's what was confusing about it.
And here's the other thing too is they also got a couple of other receivers that they're not big named, but they just don't get a lot of opportunities to perform because I think they definitely have the talent to do so. And Andre Roberts, here's a guy who's like 6'4", and he's a guy that can run great routes. He's fast. He can make the tough catches, and he just doesn't get enough play time. But Zay Jones, now Zay Jones, I used to be very down on when he first entered into the league. First couple of years. You average 3 catches and 30 yards week to week. Pretty bad for a top-notch first-round draft pick. Now, starting to make a name for himself with Josh Allen. He's got great chemistry with him. So look for him to take another step forward with a lot of weapons around him, with Zay Jones there, with Josh Allen taking another step forward in his development for this upcoming year. This offensive line, too, they have made changes. Mitch Morse at center coming over from the Chiefs. Deion Dawkins returns. Quentin Spain, who not a lot of people thought was going to be available from the Titans, he ends up landing with the Bills. John Feliciano looks like he's slated in to play the right guard spot. And Cody Ford, a draft pick that they picked up, which I think is a stellar pick. A second-round pick from Oklahoma. This dude can lock it down. Watch out for him to play and excel at the right tackle position. And on defense, they were stellar last year. They were stellar 2 years ago. Did they lose much? No, they didn't. They're getting a lot of these same guys back. Matt Milano's returning. Levi Wallace. Lorenzo Alexander, the pass rush specialist. Jerry Hughes coming off the edge as well. Starla Tulele is on this D tackle. The rookie, Ed Oliver. I think this kid, he might not make a huge impact this year. I think he'll make a slight impact, but I think after he learns the defense and isn't thinking as much, by next season, you're going to see a devastating D tackle, a guy that's athletic and has the same size as Aaron Donald. He has the same makeup, very strong, athletic, fast, quick. Watch out for him to make his own strides, and Trent Murphy rushing off the edge as well. In the back end, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde. These guys are locked down in the secondary. They don't get enough positive. They don't get talked about enough. Bottom
Hyde's
line,
a ball hawk, interception champion.
Absolutely. And then you also have, not to mention Tre'Davious White, who they drafted in 2017. Guy's a locked, shut down corner.
He was all over Gronk.
Exactly.
You know what I mean, so that's what I'm
Exactly.
saying. We try to make a mismatch. He was all over to hang with him.
So all in all, this Bills defense, watch out for them yet again this season. And to go with this offense, I don't know. I'm not saying that they'll take the division, but I'm saying that they are going to push for it.
And
this
people
year.
are sleeping on him. And there's a lot of comments here. I'm trying to catch up with them. Ty says, be nice for the AFC South. We already did the AFC South. And what do you mean by be nice? Is he a Texans fan? Is he a Houston Texans
Ty,
fan?
I believe
possibly.
is a Texans
Let
fan.
us know. We were kind, to all together for a lot of those teams. It's going to be a closer knit division, I think, for them this year.
And that's one thing that we don't do, kind of like the mass media, like ESPN and NFL Network. Usually you get a couple of biased guys on the panel, and they're like, oh, well, this team sucks. I don't think they're going to do well.
We never really hate on a team.
No, we don't really hate on a team.
Not really.
We try to stay as unbiased as possible and
We
give
find
you
the good in everything, right?
That's
Joe?
right. We give you honest and legit opinions. based on what we see in our own opinion.
Like I said, I could be wrong. Who knows? But here we go. We got a ton here. I'm going to go right down the list.
Go for it. Ready, go.
Swervo Gaming. Bill's going to lose. Got to lose a HB. Yeah, they got to lose one. Yeah, definitely. We'll see who it is. That's all. I don't know. I know maybe McCoy. Yeah, possibly. Josh Allen is an underdog QB kid from Wyoming. Josh Allen has wheels. LOL. I didn't think he did, but he proved me wrong. Yeah, a lot of people did.
Yeah.
When he started hurdling over people, I mean, people were like, "Whoa, like, who is this guy?"
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing. When Josh Allen first came out of the when he was going into the draft, I thought for sure Denver Broncos were going to take this kid. He fit everything that John Elway likes in a quarterback. He's big, physical, strong-armed. He had a little bit of accuracy issues, but that was all led to footwork, and he definitely corrected it in one off season. To the point where he's now playing at a high level for the Bills.
And Pokey Fella says here, at least college he's from Wyoming, but he might be from Cali. I can't believe they got Yeldon. Yeah. Who knows? We'll see. That's what I mean. It was crazy. They brought him in there, and you're not sure. Who knows if he ends up being, a casualty to just, save some space. Does he go back to Jacksonville maybe a little bit too and help out there because he's familiar with that? I don't know. Where else do you fit? There's other teams that could possibly use another running back.
True.
With some depth. We'll get the 49ers situation over there. They've got to lose a running back at one point too. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. I didn't even know we lost Yeldon. See, he's a Jacksonville Jaguars fan.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting, scenario too with Jacksonville. You were talking about the AFC South.
It's Leonard Fournette or bust.
They're going to be improved, I think, this year. And I'm excited to see. Joe and I both are excited to see these wide receivers and how they pan out.
Exactly.
And see how it goes.
And the one thing too that I gotta point out too is that Leonard Fournette now. His whole thing with his relationship with the organization, how it kind of was on rocky, a little bit of a rocky road. It seems to be settling right now, and Leonard Fournette is coming into this offseason now weighing less. He shedded a lot of weight. He's a little lighter, back to his college days, and with a different mindset too. He also dumped, quote unquote, the bad people around him.
Yeah.
So when you have a bad core around you, inner circle, it affects you. It affects you with your attitude. It affects you with the way you're thinking, the way you're playing, mentally and all that. So I'm looking for a much improved Leonard Fournette this year, and he has to be. And he has to stay healthy this time. And I think that is also the reason why he decided to lose some weight.
He said he wished them luck in Buffalo. Maybe we should trade Fournette. I don't know. Fournette can't get hurt now. The team doesn't have as much depth. Yeldon was a huge lift for them last year. Well, they do. I mean, I think they've got Alfred Blue, and they also have Thomas Rawls back there a little bit. So, I mean, yes, you never want to see any kind of injury. But I mean, they have some other guys back there that can help,
they do
run a little bit here, too.
So far, Thomas Rawls has yet to stay healthy. Whenever he gets an opportunity, we see him in Seattle. He had one great year, and I was all in on the guy the following season, and he ends up getting hurt. Hopefully that doesn't continue in Jacksonville. Another big key loss, I think, too, that kind of just went under the rug is Corey Grant. Corey Grant is no longer a Jacksonville Jaguar, and I was very high on Corey Grant. I thought he was a great player. He had some reps in the playoffs for them, made some great plays, great receiving back, a guy that's small but very shifty and powerful. So there's another one, So, I mean, who knows? Alfred Blue is a good pickup for them, especially to back up Leonard Fournette with that physical run that they like to do.
All right, Swervo Gamer says, I would give him another year. If he gets hurt again, I would say trade him or move on to the draft. Yeah, who knows what's going on with the Jaguars.
Thing. That's why they were on a rocky road. They were kind of sick and tired of all the injuries and him not being on the field. So they were even contemplating that last season to trade him. They didn't pull the trigger or didn't get enough suitors. So now let's wait and see what happens this year.
Swervo Gaming, he has it down right here, too. I'm going to give him the DJ horn, too, because he says, kind of like John Ross in my mind. One more year if he gets hurt again, maybe move on. I know, and we've been shouting, too, about John Ross. Like, this guy looks great. He's a nice sleeper pick possibly for your fantasy draft. And, what is up, dude? You got to be able to stay healthy. You got to make it work. And we'd love to see him be the guy we think he could be.
And he can be. But that's the problem, is that even going back in his college days, he had a hard time staying on the field, was always injured, hamstring pulls, you name it. Sprained ankles, all of the above, sprained knees. So this guy's always had a hard time staying on the field. He continues to have a hard time in the NFL. And I agree, Swervo Gaming, with the Bengals. This guy's got untapped potential like no other. In that draft, when John Ross got selected in the first round, I had him as my number one receiver. The only problem is that he gets hurt all the time. If he doesn't get hurt, he would be the next best receiver out there in the league. But unfortunately, it's not showing up due to injuries. And I agree. One more year and you're gone if you can't perform.
Ty, here you go. Check this out. Bills top 5 defensive fantasy. Book it.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Ty. 100% agree. 100%.
I like you. You have balls. I like balls.
Yeah, there you go. He's booking it. I like it. There you go.
You got to do it. And this is a team that's proven the last couple of years in fantasy and in the regular season that they are something to deal with.
Yeah, and Pokefail says, I say if he doesn't do good by the deadline, we trade him for a pick and start Alfred Blue or someone else. This year is going to be good. That's all I know, it says Swerving Gaming. Yeah, Corey Grant, I'm going to miss him, says Pokefella. And Corey Grant was so fast, definitely will hurt to lose him too. Yeah,
Right.
See, there you go. The Swerving Gaming says it. But the defense is crazy. Yes, it is. Still, we look at the playmakers they have on that team. It is.
Yeah.
There are a lot of same guys there. They're still got to get it done. And now that they have Nick Foles here with their team instead of Blake Bortles, you can only get better, you would think, for them. All right. But the Buffalo Bills, yeah, I see them being a great team too in this division, to where these teams I think are starting to turn around, and I don't think they're going to be bullied by the Patriots anymore. That's what I see a little bit here. Miami Dolphins, they've got a little more of a walk here, but I like to pick up with John Brown. A lot of people put him to the wayside when he was in Arizona. Goes to Baltimore.
He's a good player.
And performed. He surprised me a little bit. He did great in Baltimore. Comes to the Bills. Cole Beasley. I think this was a great pickup by the Buffalo Bills here, too. Cole Beasley, sure-handed, made some great plays, feels disrespected from the Cowboys, and he's loving it here in Buffalo here. So I'm liking him there, too, as well. Andre Roberts, former Raider. I'm looking to see him to move up the depth chart. Hopefully he can. I don't know what the problem is there. But, yeah, and even Dawson Knox. A lot of people thought he was one of the best tight ends in this draft, too, here. So we'll see what happens out of Dawson Knox here for the Buffalo Bills. So it's exciting to see what this overall offense is going to look like, and for them to pick up Ed Oliver along with the defense that they had here. Yeah, watch out. It's pretty scary. I like it. And what we've talked about before, their only issue that they had before was that offensive line. They had issues there. And what do? They go out and get Cody Ford. So I'm liking it. I like the Bills, and they again.
And real quick, I want to go back and touch on the Jaguars defense real quick. And here's just something that we kind of brought up in a past episode is salary cap. Jalen Ramsey wants to get paid top-notch cornerback money. I don't think the Jaguars want to pay him that top-notch cornerback money. I see by week 8 them either trading him or he's going to be a free agent. I definitely see that happening. I don't think they're going to want to pay him that huge amount of money. Yannick Ngakoue right now is another guy who is looking for the big paycheck. And Calais Campbell, guy's getting paid on average $15 million this season. I think he's going to be another cap casualty. Whether they try to move him in a trade this year or kind of wait until next season before they let him go, because by next year, they're around $15 to $16 million over the cap as it stands right now. So if that's a fact, you got to watch out. Ramsey could be on the move by week 8. Who knows what team that could be? And you got to be willing to pay the guy. So it's got to be a team with a lot of money and a need at corner. So, yes, this defense is stout. This defense is looking great on paper right now. I think that they're going to perform at a high level once again this year, not like last season where they kind of sputtered. But with the addition of Nick Foles, this kind of changes the whole outlook of the Jacksonville Jaguars, because now they have a proven quarterback that can win and can make those throws that they much needed in years past. So with a better well-run offense and this defense that they currently have, you could watch out for the Jaguars this season. They might make a contending push in the playoffs.
All right, the Pokefella says Buffalo Bills could steal a wild card spot. Yeah, who knows? We'll see. I don't know. We'll see how that. But that AFC, got to think maybe. But that AFC is a crazy conference here. You've got a lot of great teams here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, look at the teams that maybe hit some injuries, but now they're looking to come back here and try and stay healthy.
Right.
So you never know there, but there are a lot of times they say, I think every season a few of those playoff teams drop out and some new ones jump in. Who knows? Maybe they could sneak it in there. The Dolphins, he says, too, are going to be at best 6-10, at worst 1-15. Yeah, the Dolphins we're going to get to them in a second, have their work cut out for
rebuilding.
them. The Jets could also steal a wild card spot, but if it's going to be either the Bills or the Jets, or neither of them. Oh yeah, who knows? Who knows what's going on with them? You know, again, we broadcast here in New York, and a lot of Jets fans are hyped. You know, they see the Le'Veon Bell, they see Sam Darnold's getting better. They like the new colors, you know, and they're just getting hyped up. They got Quentin Williams, dude. That dude is hilarious, and he's a
big
beast
kid in the
too.
candy store.
Yeah, I mean so you got to be excited, but you know, we'll see how it plays out here. If we lose Ramsey, he says, we may be in trouble. Well, we'll see. Yeah, definitely. Swervo Gaming says, everyone wants to get paid. It's the name of the game.
Right.
Get rid of the older guys, in my mind, he says. Well, yeah, well, it all depends. I mean,
That's obviously what is the game plan,
Yeah.
is to move on from the older guys and save that kind of money. But being over by that much money that's a big hit. And if Ramsey wants to get paid the number one cornerback spot, that's gonna put them back over the cap. So if they can't mutually agree on a deal, unfortunately, it's going to have to lead to a trade. They're going to have to try to get some kind of compensation, much like what the Giants did. Yes, they already had Odell signed, but with his attitude, and here's the same thing goes in Jacksonville. Ramsey has had his attitude problems with the front office, has had a mixed relationship with that organization, to the point where I think Jacksonville would be more apt to trade him and get some compensation for him and try to help build this team for the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I mean, I've been on the fence about who they should maybe run out of there possibly to try and get some value or save on some of that money. It says, I'd rather trade Campbell than lose Ramsey. That's what I said before when we were talking about it. But again, he is a little longer in the tooth, so what kind of value are you going to get from him? Like Joe said, you get a better value if Ramsey's younger. He's got it, wants the bigger money and everything.
Ramsey's
so,
still young. He's still in his prime. And I completely,
Odell got. But.
I do agree with you about you want to keep Ramsey. Of course you want to.
Yeah.
He's still in his prime. He's still a good player. But man, that kind of money to put on one player is a lot. And you have guys coming up with this defense, you got guys coming up that you're going to have to re-sign, and it's going to command some money to keep them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tough. And you know what? There's been other corners out there that have been lockdown corners, but if the rest of the team, a lot of it's won in the trenches. You want to talk about that front seven or whatever you can do, get pass pressure. That means a lot too. So, I mean, if you can't get any of that, you're just sitting there back there and you've got an elite corner. How well did it do for the Jets? Right. You know what I mean? When they had Revis Island. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, we'll see. And he was even bouncing around team to team to try and get paid. We'll see. I see a lot of similarities. And, Swervo Gaben's going along with this, too. He says Ramsey is too elite to give up, in my mind, and not as seasoned. Yeah. And he also says the Jets have potential. I don't see the playoffs this year, though, but maybe a wild card at most. Again, it's up in the air for me. Jets, for me, as a fan, I have my favorite team, but I love to watch. This is how we do this show. I love to watch these other games, the other teams, see how they pan out. I don't get overly excited.
I do.
About certain things. Don't talk to me about penalties and stuff. But we never even brought that up about what you thought about the pass interference penalties so far in the.
I don't think we.
But we don't need to bring that up yet. All right. Anyways, but the Jets have potential. Yeah, we'll see. We haven't seen Le'Veon Bell run yet. You know what I'm saying? We got to see what Sam Darnold really looks like against real fast, real-time pressure here. We'll see what happens with this team. We're not going to go crazy here. The Patriots are still the Patriots, so don't forget about that too.
That's right.
How can you cut someone who is 6'8", 300 pounds. I'll say it again. LOL. It's hard, but it's also hard to lose someone like Ramsey. Swervo Gaming says, yes, I love it. I love you guys. Yeah, definitely. It's always a debate. And see,
It's
we have
hard.
fun debating.
Listen,
it is hard.
and
you know,
this
who
is-
knows?
that's why this
And
is where
sometimes it goes through and sometimes it doesn't go the way we think.
and that's why this is a business as well. So when you start to get guys that you're going to have to trim, you got to trim the fat somewhere.
Yeah.
That's
why we brought up the Odell trade.
Exactly,
And
that's the thing too.
Surprised it
is-
happened.
But and here's the thing: it's maybe hard to get rid of that guy, but he is in the is approaching mid-30s. He's at the tail end of his career. Still can play. Don't get me wrong. Still a great D lineman, but that's a lot of money to pay one player at the defensive line position, and you still got to pay other guys as well. So as tough as it may be, it is a business too. So they're going to have to make some hard decisions upcoming really soon.
Hey, Pokefella says Patriots could go 14-2. The receiver core looks like it's going to help Brady a lot. Yeah, we'll see. Again, we'll see if they can stay healthy for one, too, as well. Or Josh Gordon again cannot just get high and things like that and have issues, or
I mean, at this
stay
point,
mentally.
At
safe,
this point, you can
know.
make the statement that the Patriots have the best wide receiving core in the league.
Yeah,
I mean, they're
possibly.
so deep with so much talent. And not
Yeah,
to mention
where they just released Dontrell Inman.
Yeah,
not
to mention the rookie in N'Keal Harry. Watch out for him this year. He's going to make an impact, and he's going to be tough to contend with.
Yeah, and I think they even have Cameron Meredith still back there on the deeper on the charts, don't they? No,
Yeah,
down
he's
way
not
back,
healthy
but-
though yet.
but,
So
yeah.
who knows if he even makes the team?
Yeah. All right, but let's move on to the Miami Dolphins quick. We'll just cover them quick because, again, yes, they're in the rebuild mode. It's the first year for
Definitely.
Brian Flores, so he kind of has, his work cut out for him. So we get to see what another Patriots coach could do here with a team. Or is he going to mold them similar to what the Patriots are? I mean, he already has Eric Rowe. He brought him in from New England, who was formerly from the Philadelphia Eagles. You got Devontae Parker in here again, who I was thinking could possibly be a nice fantasy sleeper and never pans out too because of issues. Kenny Stills, who is a decent receiver, and he looked good. His best years were in New Orleans, but with the quarterback issues they've had with this team and stuff, he hasn't been able really to, I think, really pan out for them. But they do bring in Ryan Fitzpatrick here. He goes in, and now we're in a quarterback battle here with Josh Rosen. So that's what I think is really interesting about this team. Ryan Fitzpatrick, the wily veteran who plays just good enough to win a starting position or go somewhere else and get a starting job, but then somehow lose it again, but be a great backup for somebody else. Josh Rosen, again, though, for a guy who was brought into the Cardinals, get drafted there, he's got a chip on his shoulder. Did what he could. He was getting beat up and still producing at times, but the numbers overall don't look as good because he's getting hurried like hell. So, but he gets traded over to them, but now he's in a position here. He's like, man, now I got to, take
Earn
this
your
job
spot.
here in my
Yeah.
spot and everything and stuff. And this team, is kind of in a rebuild spot too as well. So, what's going to go on here with the Miami Dolphins here, Joe? What's your take on the Dolphins?
Here's the thing with the Dolphins is we all know that at this point, with a new regime for the front for the coaching staff and everything, with Brian Flores, ex-Patriot, coming down south to Miami, he's going to work much of everything that he knows. Everything that he knows is New England style.
Yeah.
So he's going to bring that down right down to the Miami Dolphins. By personnel-wise, that's why you see the re-signing of Jakeem Grant. I think he realizes that there's a special talent there that he can utilize in matchups and create mismatches. Devontae Parker, just like you brought him up, the biggest problem with Devontae Parker has been health. That's really all it is. His talent is he's a great talented receiver. It's just he can't stay healthy. He's got to this year. This is the year where if he does not stay healthy, I could see the Dolphins letting him go and moving on from him. Kenny Stills, he returns. He's gonna be pushing for those deep routes. Jakeem Grant, like I mentioned before. Also, here's interesting too, is Alan Hearns got picked up by Miami Dolphins. So you're starting to see a little bit of a glimpse of identity in this receiving core. It looks like Brian Flores is looking for quick, shifty receivers, much like they have with the Patriots, with like the likes of Julian Edelman and a lot of those smaller guys. Bryce Butler, also another guy who's kind of bounced team to team. Doesn't really get talked about a lot, but he's a very good receiver. Just hope he gets a shot now in Miami. Offensive line. They couldn't afford to lose right tackle Juwan James, but what did they do? They lost him. So now there's a big hole at that position. They end up trying to fulfill it with ex-Bill Jordan Mills. We'll have to see how that experiment works out. And a lot of younger guys after that. Jesse Davis, Michael Detter, a third-round pick this year. Who knows if he'll be able to hold down that left guard spot. Laramie Tunsil, lockdown left tackle. He's the cornerstone of this offensive line. And you also have a veteran at center in Daniel Kilgore. So they have some nice pieces here on offense. And then you look at the quarterback position. You just mentioned Josh Rosen. What's going to happen with him? Is he going to start? Is he not going to start? Right now, Ryan Fitzpatrick is playing his balls off. And they've already listed him as a starter as of right now. And so he's won the job already. He's that impressive in training camp now. Let's see what happens in the regular season. Will he have another success story like he did early with Tampa Bay before they decided to let's switch it up and put Winston back in?
What happened with them, too, what I've heard from training camp, is that, he's been in enough offenses, too.
Yeah,
he realizes playbook,
right.
So he's picked up the playbook faster than Josh Rosen has.
Absolutely, because he's a veteran.
That's why he's jumping right in. Yeah,
right, because he's a veteran. It's easy. So Josh Rosen, it's going to be hard for him. But here's the thing. I think this was the game plan all the way long here. Is Brian Flores, he wanted that veteran quarterback to come in initially, learn his offense, and help grow after the trade. Now they have Josh Rosen. He can learn under Ryan Fitzpatrick. He doesn't have to be thrust into the limelight like he was in Arizona with a terrible offensive line and really hardly any weapons. So now he's going to be able to learn underneath a veteran like Ryan Fitzpatrick, and maybe he gets groomed to be the starter next year. So that's something interesting to watch. In running back position, Kenyon Drake. Yes, to answer your question, Kenyon Drake is healthy. He is going to be another tough running back to contend with. He's great at running between the tackles, outside receiving. He does it all. And here's another thing is Kalen Ballage. Kalen Ballage is a little bit of a sleeper, and you got to keep your eyes open for him because I think he's pushing for some time in this offense. And on defense, it's kind of like they're patching up holes here.
Yeah.
They
got a lot of youth right there on defense.
They go ahead and they grab Tank Carradine at defensive end. Devon Gacho, he's a really good D tackle. So he's a young, proven D tackle for them. Christian Wilkins has to take another step in development and become the first round pick that they've been hoping that would bust out. And it's got to happen this year. Charles Harris, another good defensive end for the team. So they got a lot of youth. They got a lot of talent. It's a matter of whether they can put it all together and get them to succeed. Jerome Baker, Raekwon McMillan, and Kiko Alonso are your linebacking core. And I've heard a story out of Miami that Kiko Alonso could be cut. He might be forced out of a starting job here, and because of his salary, he could move on and be a free agent. Very possible. You did mention Eric Rowe got added to the Miami Dolphins. Here's the problem with Eric Rowe is he can't cover. Yeah. So right now he's slated as a starter. I don't know why, but that's a little concerning to me. Rashad Jones returns healthy. He's a very good safety. Bobby McCain, another good player. Xavier Howard gets a new deal this year, locking him up for the future years. And wow, one of the best corners in the league right now currently.
Swervo Gaming chimes in here, says, but new QB, how do you think they'll adjust this year? I don't like Rosen. He's very full of himself. He says.
You don't have to like him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, they're going to start out with Ryan Fitzpatrick. We'll see how it goes. Maybe Rosen sits the whole season. Maybe if they really have to pull the trigger, maybe the fans go crazy. Maybe they put Rosen in. Who knows? I think whenever they feel comfortable, they'll do it. And Pokefella says, I feel like whenever someone comes from Bill Belichick, they fail. Yeah,
unless they face New England.
Yeah,
unless they face New England.
Yeah, that's true.
It seems like
I'd say the only outlier is Chandler Jones. I think he's played great. He's been like the sack leader. I mean, 2 years ago, like when he first initially left for the Cardinals, he looked great. I think Chandler Jones is the only one maybe that's been semi-successful that has left that team.
Jamie Collins was too as soon as he left
for a little bit,
with the Cleveland Browns. Both of them were trades, and here's the thing too: is we all talk about the Jalen Ramsey situation and should they trade him. Here's what the Patriots do, and they're not scared to do it. just like Chandler Jones, Jamie Collins, they were very prominent pieces to their defense, and they wanted big money. What did the Patriots do? Say, no, we're not going to pay you that contract. We're going to trade you and get compensation for you and then fill your spot. That's what we're going to do. So it can be done. I know it's tough because you get attached to these players on your respected teams, but it can work out, just to clear that up.
Swervo Gaming chimes in here. So not too many quarterbacks come out of Hartford. Hashtag fear the beard. Hashtag Fitzmagic. Both Fitzmagics now are on the same team now.
That's
Watch out for that. Fitzmagic goes, Pokey Fella says, goes 16-0 with the Dolphins. LMAO. Yeah, he's just kidding, obviously. Yeah, it's 16-0. But you know what? Who knows? Maybe he could go 400 yards a game again like he did with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who knows? He'll spread the ball around. You know that much. Not like Jameis Winston was doing. It's because he's so smart of a play. He's so smart. A playbook is nothing compared to Harvard classes and stuff. Yeah, absolutely, Swervo Gaming. Yeah, gonna be a close division. We'll see. Yeah, definitely. Well, at certain teams. Yeah.
That comment just gave me an idea.
What's
gave
up?
me an idea. Is that
great.
Fitzmagic? There's 2 of them on the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Here's what's interesting: is if you got Eric Rowe, Minka Fitzpatrick can play corner. Why don't you just start him opposite Xavier Howard right now at cornerback, and you still have T.J. McDonald that you added from the Rams at safety with Rashad Jones, with Bobby McCain. So you got plenty of secondary pieces that you can move around. I think that would be a wise move by them instead of having Eric Rowe right there.
He says, I hope it's not another Fitz and Winston thing where it's going to be best week. The rest of the week starts. I'm hoping not, and I'm thinking not, just because if you're coming from the Bill Belichick tree, they like stability and things like that, and I think they're just going to go with the sure thing here. And, guy who can manage their system. That's Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think. You need to pick a quarterback, stick with him, and in my mind, can't just keep switching it up.
Correct.
Will ruin the flow of the offense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you saw it there in Tampa Bay, and that definitely doesn't make your team comfortable in who's throwing the ball.
Right.
Let's move on to the New England Patriots now. Again, not much to say here, but again, they do grab, some more wide receivers. They get richer in that. Everybody's big question was, how are they going to do without Gronk? They get Benjamin Watson, but he gets suspended because of something he took that he wasn't sure he was supposed to take.
I didn't know.
He didn't know. Yeah, we get that story again. On defense now, they don't have Trey Flowers anymore, and Dietrich Wise steps up a spot here, too, and he looked really good. He was sneaky
player.
last year.
Good
a lot of
player.
people didn't pick up on that. And you still have Dante Hightower. Michael Bennett now comes over here, too, from the Eagles. So he's looking here to maybe jump on that bandwagon, possibly get a ring.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? How this
Absolutely.
goes? He goes, hey, it worked for my brother. Maybe I can do it here. Kyle Van Noy, who was he was a key player in the Super Bowl and in the playoffs for this team. He was the guy to watch out for. Him and Trey Flowers were lighting it up, making plays, and a big part, I think, to their Super Bowl win, and that's such a close, low-scoring game.
Right.
You got the McCourty brothers back in effect.
Oh, my
Patrick
God.
Chung still, how the age was packed with Patrick Chung still there, and Stephon Gilmore still playing to a high level on this defense. They do make a change at putter, though, Joe. They
did.
drop
Now, this could completely
Ryan
derail the team.
Allen to save themselves $1.5 million, and now Jake Bailey, the 5th rounder. But I think he was an all Pac-12 player too, so he's a really good punter. So we'll see how it works out for them. But yes, Swervo Gaming, no more Gronk. So the Patriots. I don't really see too much chink in their armor, though, still, because you know what they do? They get rid of
They're the
stuff,
Patriots.
they shed it, and keep it in. You still have Sony Michel coming in for now his second year. James Devlin here back there, too, a nice, solid fullback-style running back. James White still getting his touch, and Rex Burkhead. They're going to mix it up all over the place. The Patriots do whatever they do week to week to beat whatever team they're playing. They're like Transformers. So we'll see how it goes here with the Patriots. Joe, what do you got on the Patriots?
I mean, what can you say?
You can't say
look
too
at
much,
this
can you?
receiving core. It's absolutely ridiculous. Philip Dorsett, Julian Edelman, Demaryius Thomas is on there. Braxton Berrios, watch out for this kid. He's up and coming in this New England offense. He's getting some reps in the training camp, and he's pushing for some reps. N'Keal Harry's also going to get on there. Maurice Harris, he's kind of like an underrated type player. Same thing with Matthew Slater, who's been on this New England squad for a couple years now. Jacoby Myers, Cameron Meredith, like Jim mentioned earlier, he's still injured, still on the physically unable to perform list. But if he gets healthy, he's got to stay healthy. And it's going to be a tremendous uphill battle just to even make this squad at this point. With all the depth that they have. And don't forget, they just got Josh Gordon back. And Josh Gordon is an all-pro type of talent. It's just a matter if he can stay off the Chiba. You know what I'm saying? If he just has to stop smoking and not get caught. And he can be a
mental health in order.
Huge addition to this team. Offensive line, they have one of the best offensive lines in the league. Isaiah Wynn coming in. Last year was a rookie. He was hurt all year. Coming in this year, looks to take hold of that left tackle spot. They don't really lose much. You're like, oh, well, they lost Trent Brown, and oh, my God, what's going to – it's okay. Isaiah Wynn had it locked down last year, even with Trent Brown now. So that's got to tell you something about his talent. Lockdown offensive line, Jim just mentioned their backfield. They have so much talent in every position, it's ridiculous. And they all fit their scheme to a T, which makes their team so much better than a lot of other teams. Sony Michel coming back healthy once again. If he can stay healthy, I'd watch out for this guy. I think he's going to, if he stays healthy all year long, I'd watch out for him to be another running back to eclipse that milestone of 1,000 receiving yards and 1,000 ground yards. Think he's going to have a big impact on this offense. James White as well is going to have a Rex Burkhead, James Devlin, rookie Damian Harris coming from Alabama, third-round pick. He's also going to get his fair share of carries as well. So week to week, you have no idea what Belichick's going to do with this backfield. Defensively, Jim mentioned a few guys. Lawrence Guy is a very good player. Dietrich Wise Jr.
That's true too.
Also coming in. Michael Bennett, veteran. We all know what he's all about. Mike Pennell, coming from the Jets, is a very good D tackle. He helps fill that void with Malcolm Brown leaving. I mean, and you look at veteran Donta Hightower coming back again. Kyle Van Noy, he's a utility linebacker. Now you're like, what the hell is that? He's a guy that can play great in this defensive scheme for coverage, and also can rush the passer like nobody's business. So with that, you also have Devin McCourty returning, all-pro safety, still playing at a high level. Jason McCourty, I know they're brothers, but let's be honest. He's still not worthy of the starting cornerback position. Stephon Gilmore proved last year that he can stay with anybody. And what do you guys say? They're just solid up and down.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go. Swervo Gaming says Tom Brady will do what Tom Brady does. It's up to the defense. If they're good, it will be hard to beat them. Yeah. Could see another 16-0 New England season. Who knows, says Pokey Fella. It's the NFL. Anything can happen.
Right.
And Swervo Gaming says, yeah, just got to finish it this time. LOL. Here we go with the laugh. All right. Called 18-0, but there was no ring to it. Yes. Yeah. Giants Nation. Hashtag Giants Nation. Swervo Gaming. Yes. Who knows? I don't think they're going to go 16-0. I don't think it's going to be like that because they've got some tough teams they could play here and there. How about week one? Week one, we get to see the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots.
Oh, yeah,
How
rematch.
about for that a game? Pittsburgh's
Rematch.
schedule looks pretty difficult. They play a lot of playoff teams, and it's going to be really difficult. And we're going to see what this team looks like as Juju, the number one, along with Eli Rogers and those guys in the running back by committee there that they have with James Conner and Samuel. So
and
we'll
what
see
I'll
what
be
happens with
interested
them.
in that game is I want to see if the Steelers learned anything from the last time they faced the Patriots.
Perhaps.
How about you don't do zone defense?
Yeah.
Play
Let's hope.
man-to-man press coverage.
Nobody learns from that. I don't know why. But anyway, let's
not hard.
move on to the Jets. And like I said, a lot of people were excited. They still have Robbie Anderson coming back. He's been in the offseason working hard and trying to get better. Quincy Enunwa, we saw what he could do if he just stays healthy. Look what kind of a weapon he was for Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold has a real connection with him. He was actually getting some real receptions there, getting it together. They have Le'Veon Bell. They grabbed Ty Montgomery for whatever reason. Guy's a douche. Eli McGuire looks freaking amazing. I love this guy. I think they're going to mix it up here, back and forth with him. And Bilal Powell coming back from his injury. I would like to see them mix him up there, too. You saw what he could do. It just sprinkled in a little Bilal Powell in the mix. And They get Kelechi Assembly from Oakland. Kelvin Beacham's still there. They also get Jamison Crowder here from the Redskins. I like that pickup here for them here because he wasn't able to. I'm glad he left Washington, was able to leave that abyss.
I think
and come
he's
over
happy
here to
too.
the Jets. Yeah, absolutely. So he could be a nice mix here. Somebody convinced Ryan Khalil to come out of retirement and play for the Jets. So do you think he saw some of the things, the moves they were making here, and now Adam Gase, that maybe they have a great chance here to do something in this division? I know when Gods went to visit them at the training camp, he said Adam Gase is very competitive. So is Greg Williams. So much that they're dude. Check this out.
Yeah.
Adam Gase. They said it in the interview, but in case you guys missed it, Adam Gase sets up a play with Greg Williams. Greg Williams sets up a defense to command that play to go against. Like it's a play that the Patriots like to do a lot.
Right.
All right, let's see how we play defense against this play. Adam Gase calls an audible and switches the play last second to get successful against that defense and runs a different play. And Greg Williams is like, yo, what the hell are you doing? We're supposed to be practicing this play. He's like, I can't let you beat me on that one. No, I can't give it up that. Yeah, so that's how crazy this training camp is with these guys. We've brought it up before. They get Quinnen Williams. We love this guy. He's the big kid, like you said, but he's the big kid that is also big and he can throw his will around. C.J. Mosley from Baltimore, great pickup here for them too as well. Jamal Adams, solid on defense too. Jermaine Johnson, also getting him from L.A. That was a great pickup. So this defense looks even better here for the Jets. And now this offense, second year under Sam Darnold, and he's been working with Adam Gase, and Peyton Manning's been sprinkling his knowledge in there. He's a big supporter of Adam Gase, so we'll see what these Jets look like. I like the uniforms too, by the way. They look exciting.
You know what?
So
And there was a poll out there about the jerseys. Like, what's your favorite jersey? I like the emerald green ones. I think they're really nice.
The new ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
Even
It
the
is
white ones.
amazing.
Even the white ones are really nice as well.
Just I love the helmet.
But defensively, you're right. This is a stout defense. They were pretty good, pretty tough to deal with last year, and this year they made some improvements. You still have Leonard Williams. You still have Steve McClendon coming over from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Quinnen Williams is an interesting play here. They did draft him in the first round. High pick. They think he's going to be a huge disruptor for them on this D-line. And Henry Anderson was a nice re-signing for this team. Or coming from the Colts. He was nice to have him be added to this Jets team. So they've actually strengthened this D-line very well and made it very competitive. They bring over C.J. Mosley from Baltimore Ravens to really kind of lock down and keep everybody in the right position and make checks and bounces and calls on this defense to be the captain, to be the quarterback of this defense. I think that's going to bode well for them. Being able just to keep everybody with great communication, get everybody in the right places at the right times, and to be able to call out the offensive plays as well. Jordan Jenkins, an outside linebacker who's going to create some havoc in the backfield and rush. Another thing is you can't mention Jets without Jamal Adams at safety. The dude is just an insane safety at his young career that he's already having. Marcus May, he's coming back from an injury. He's another. I mean, when the Jets they drafted both these guys in the same draft, and they hit it out of the park. They got two starting safeties with this. Also, Tremaine Johnson returning for a second year in this defense is gonna make him even better now that he has chemistry with the guys. And it's a new regime. Adam Gase's offense is new to Sam Darnold, so he's got to relearn a new playbook. He might look great in camp. And that was reported as much by Tom Gozlowski on the show. But it's a new offense. Again, he's got to learn it. And when you get to regular season, that's when you got to read the defenses. You got to audible. You got to change some things up. I want to wait and see what happens in regular season before I say this offense is going to be second to none. Sam Darnold's going to take a huge step forward.
Here we go. Yeah.
But what they've done to help him along the way is Jim mentioned, is they added Jamison Crowder. Huge fan of that signing. They also have another signing in Deontay Thompson from the Buffalo Bills, a big-time speedster who can also take the top off of defense. Look for him to try to get some playing time. And they made a couple of trades. Alex Lewis from the Ravens, who started at guard for them last year, they make an upgrade at right guard with that trade. And Jim mentioned Kalichi Assembly. He looks to hold down that left guard spot, but I'm still worried about Brandon Shell at right tackle. He was a sieve last year. I don't think that is going to change. He could get better. It's possible, but I still worry about that right side in protection. And Le'Veon Bell. It's Le'Veon Bell is a Jet now, and I think he's going to be more than just a running back for them. I could definitely see in Adam Gase's offense moving Bell out to slot receiver at times and creating mismatches there and coming out of the backfield and doing a lot of things. Ty Montgomery has actually kind of made a small name for himself in this offense. He's playing really well so far in training camp. Elijah McGuire, we both love some McGuire. Very talented kid, has come back from so much, coming back from injury, coming back from a lot of things in his past. And I look for him to make an impact on this offense as well. Bilal Powell, I don't know. He's coming back from a big-time neck injury, and that concerns me a little bit. With the depth that they already have, I don't know if he makes the team. I'm a little concerned about that with his health. It's not so much his talent. I know what he can do, but his health-wise, it's a little scary for me. So all in all, we'll have to wait and see what the regular season holds for the Jets.
Sororo Gaming says Bell has to learn slow, different playbook, work him in slow. Exactly, that's what we said. It's why McGuire's there. Yeah, because I talked about it with Goz too as well. I said you're going to see McGuire a lot, and then you're going to see Bell here and there, and then more carries as we go along through the season. He also says Robbie Anderson needs to gain weight. That's what we thought this year too. He had to. When he was at the ESPYs, he looked a lot like Wiz Khalifa to me. Don't you think? He looked a lot. I thought it was Wiz Khalifa for a second there, and I'm like, what's he doing at the ESPYs? And it was Robbie Anderson.
You're not wrong.
Looked a lot like him. I was surprised. I could not believe it.
Here's the thing too: is it is about genetics too for these guys. So
yeah,
you say get bigger, but he may be at his plateau. Like if his genetics dictate that he can no longer get bigger than what he is, he's not going to get bigger. He can get stronger, but he's not going to get bigger in size. So, again, you know that these guys are working day in and day out in the weight room. I think Robbie Anderson has done so as well. I just think it's genetically he's not going to get like big size, like width-wise or mass or anything. I just think that's the way his body's built. But all in all, super fast guy, is tall, can run good routes, can take the top off a defense. But here's my pet peeve. Now that they have Adam, now that they have their coach, what the hell's his name again? Adam Gase.
Adam Gase, yeah.
I think he has to utilize Robbie Anderson more than any other coach has. Let him run other routes and kind of post and go routes and everything and attacking deep all the time. Let him run some drag routes, some slants. Utilize his full potential. Get him in every possible route there is, and I think you're going to see a much improved Robbie Anderson this year.
Yeah, and the Pokey fella says Buster Skrine, my man. He's on Chicago now, Joe.
That's right.
He's a fan of Buster Skrine. There you go. He's moved on, yeah. And he also says, heck, he would love Bilal Powell on his Jags team, possibly. Haha. And John Turner says they taking calls or what? Us? Do we take? No, I don't think we take phone calls. We might. I think your number is up on our Facebook page.
It is.
Maybe to take a phone call. If you want to call us, I guess you could. But we also love the comments out here. Everybody out here, we have YouTube here. We're streaming through 3 different platforms. We have our YouTubers in here commenting, and our Facebook as well. And so we're doing Periscope right now too as well.
Let's go.
So yeah, why not bring in the comments? We love it. And we do this thing, as you can see here. Mike Tackett was last week's show MVP. We do an MVP of every show, and that will get your name in a drawing. And at the end of the year, right after the Super Bowl, we will give away a prize to you guys out there. Who is our MVP of the season? So look forward to that. Keep the comments flowing and sharing and posting. But Joe, with the AFC East right now, we've gone over this now, and now we're going to go for your picks. So let's see what Joe picks for the AFC East as an early prediction here.
And there you have it right there. I mean, until you knock the Patriots off, you cannot not have them at number 1. I know last year I was like, oh, well, I think the Patriots will lose the division last year. No, it didn't happen. So until it gets proven that they can't hold on to that crown anymore, It's hard to go. And then when you look at this roster, I think it's even more improved than last year's roster, which makes them more dangerous. Bill Belichick is a no-nonsense guy. He doesn't really give a crap what the media thinks, and he lets them all know that week to week. Buffalo Bills, I think they're my up-and-coming team this season. I love their defense just like I have the past couple of years. Their offense is much improved. I know it's only a second year with Josh Allen, but I think he's going to take a big step forward and make this team even more competitive this year, possibly land in the wild card. And as far as the Jets go, let's face it, it's a brand-new coaching staff, brand-new offense for Sam Darnold has to learn. Le'Veon Bell and everybody else has to learn. We'll have to see how quick they acclimate to this offense come regular season. Defense, no question, going to be tough. But offensively, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I think they've made some improvements, but again, it's all new. Don't know what to expect. Miami Dolphins, it is what it is. They're rebuilding. They're trying to establish new positions, new players, and trying to help grow this roster as they go. Dolphins could have a couple of surprise wins under the tutelage of Brian Flores, but all in all, I think they end up last in the division.
All right, the Pokefella says Dolphins being last is predictable. I feel like the Jets will be second, but I can agree with the Bills being second as well. Pats, Bills, Jets, Dolphins. Swervo Gamer says definitely agree with Pats being first. I feel like the Jets will have a bad start. The Bills can get to more of a fast start, Swervo Gaming says here. And Swervo Gaming also says, and OFC, the Pats at 1, it's hard to bet against them in any game. Absolutely. They've been so dominant for so long. Where are we at here? John Turner says, what's the number? What's the number? I mean, I guess we could take phone calls. I don't know. It's up to you. What do you want to do?
That's different.
Yeah, that's different. I guess he really just wants to talk. I mean,
518-860-4550 if we want to hear your voice. Let's go.
There you go. Let's go. 518-860-4550. I guess we got John Turner is going to be calling in. Real quick, then I'll just kind of scan over to my picks. And do I have the same picks as you have? What do we have here? Yes, I think they are here. So
they're
my
identical.
Picks aren't any different. So there you go. There's my picks right here. I have the Patriots, the Bills, the Jets, and the Dolphins. I feel the same kind of way. I like the Bills a little better than what the Jets are showing me here. I like the weapons. I like Cole Beasley over there. I think he's going to ball out for them. So and I like their defense too. I don't think the Patriots are going to go unbelievably well in this division here, go like a 16-0. I still think they will show their dominance here, but I just like it the same way. The Bills going to make a run, and we'll see what happens with that running back situation.
Right.
The quarterback, see if he can take another step forward and not have to run like hell. Here we go. We've got John Turner calling in.
John Turner.
All right, here we go.
Hey, John, what's going on? Welcome to Football on the No Show.
How are you guys?
Excellent. How are you?
I haven't had a bad day in years. Thanks for asking.
No,
like it. So what's going on?
Yeah, what's up?
What's on your mind?
Everybody laughs at that response, and I'm telling you, it's the truth.
That's good.
Excellent.
So you guys were just talking about the AFC East. I got to tell you that you'll have a easier time finding the Pope taking shots at a bar in Mecca than you will of finding another team in the AFC East winning more than 7 games this year.
Okay.
All right. There you go.
Heard it here first, everybody.
Yeah. And that's a solid opinion there too.
Yeah,
We said 7. I think that would be roundabouts, probably where you would see him. You know what I mean?
7 is about as good as you can hope and pray any other team not named Tom Brady's team to win that division.
And I can agree with you there, especially the Jets, because if you look at their schedule that they have there, it gets pretty tough at times.
Definitely.
So for them to go even sniff 500, it would be tough for them.
Well, I think the Jets' problem is that they went out and got a great guy, a great player. Excuse me, I don't know how good of a guy he is, but he's a great player in Le'Veon Bell. But here's a little stat that you guys might not be privy to. The Pittsburgh Steelers averaged last year 2.38 seconds per play on a passing down, where from the snap of the ball to the point of the release of the ball, the least amount of pressure to the quarterback. 2.38 seconds. That was number one in the NFL last year by a long shot, more than a tenth of a second to the second place team in that category. Now, with that being said, a stat like that and an improved offensive line with a year more to gel makes their line more valuable in Pittsburgh. It was already number one last year, that allowed Ben Roethlisberger to have 5,000 yards and send two new players in skill positions to the Pro Bowl in Connor and Schuster. Now, what my point is that the Jets think they've landed the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I think not. When a player misses as much time in the NFL as a player like Le'Veon Bell did last year, usually they show back up and have nagging injuries all year long. And let's not forget that the Jets don't block very well.
Right.
Sam Darnold is a fine young quarterback. Guys, my question is to you. Does Le'Veon Bell even add up to a hill of beans to this team that's probably just not, quite frankly, built to win more than 5 or 6 games, even with the promising young quarterback they got behind center?
I agree. I think, it's going to be a tough battle for him. I am one of those that says Le'Veon Bell, again, if they have any kind of success with him, they need to start him off slow, bring him in there. I don't think he's going to be that much of an impact player as far as I'd even stay away from him in fantasy. And that is the same thing. Like you said, he hasn't been playing. He could potentially get injured. And the offensive line, again, and what weapons are you afraid of if you're a team playing the Jets? Are you afraid of Robbie Anderson? Are you afraid of Quincy Enunwa? You're going to tee up on Le'Veon Bell in the running game and then pin your ears back and go after Sam Darnold.
I am afraid of the Jets' skill position weapons about as much as I am afraid of, Chucky. Okay? So it's just not that scary to me.
Absolutely.
You can give me Fred Smoot and that guy Buster Screen that you guys mentioned 5 minutes ago.
Right.
And, I'm okay. I'm confident enough to walk into that game and get a W.
Yeah, but that's the thing, too, is what concerns me about the whole Le'Veon Bell situation is that he's taken himself out of preseason. He doesn't want to play in preseason games. He's also been away from the game, like you mentioned before, for such a long time now. We remember when he kind of held out with the Pittsburgh Steelers, then reported last second to play in the regular season game, how long it took him to get back into football shape, how long it took him to get back into the click of the offense. I think that's going to kind of end up rearing its head this season with the Jets. Not only is it a new offense that he's got to learn, and a poor offensive line he's going to be running behind, a second-year quarterback, but he's got to get his body in shape and get his body right and be able to execute to the level that he's expected.
You make very, very valid points, and that's a problem. Okay, so you can correlate time missed with skill position players, and I'm talking defensive guys too. You can talk about secondary or cornerbacks and safeties as well. When they miss time, they have the most active lower bodies than most players in the league, most positions in the league. So you're asking all these ankles and knees and groins, all of these injuries that we hear about, like ACLs and Achilles and hamstrings. These are all very common with skill position guys, especially the ones that miss time and try to come back, because you know as well as I do, when you launch off that starting point of the line of scrimmage, you're putting a lot of pressure on that launching pad, and then you got to start, stop, and restart again, and all that other stuff. That takes a toll on your body, and let's not forget that these are elite athletes covering or blowing past these guys. So the toll that it takes on these parts of the body are much greater for these position players than all others across the league. And I quite frankly, I don't see Le'Veon Bell playing any more than 10 games this season, to be honest with you. So if I'm a fantasy football fanatic, which I'm not necessarily, but I can talk a lot about fantasy, but I'm not necessarily a fanatical player of it.
Okay.
I don't think that this guy is anywhere near the first 3 rounds of any draft, in my opinion.
Yeah, I could
and
agree with
it's
that. Like I
funny
said, the
because-
best thing for them is to start him slow.
Yeah, right. As of right now, the average draft position for Bell, I think, is too high, and I think it's in the second round. I just think it's way too high. I wouldn't take him. I wouldn't even touch him in that round, or third round, or fourth round. I'd wait until maybe fifth round or sixth round.
So you guys were talking about the NFC East. I mean, Buffalo is probably, to be honest with you, I mean, they've got this revolving quarterback door thing going on down in Miami. I don't really know. They've got like the guy that went to Harvard and the guy that went to Harvard's son as the number one and number two quarterbacks down in Miami. So good luck with all that.
Right.
In Buffalo, a little further up the state from you guys, they've got a very passionate fan base, albeit they've got to play Tom Brady twice and have a better record than him at the end of the year if they want to get, which they're not going to have. So what I do see out of the other teams, not named the Jets, I see Buffalo making the best moves, but they're just not going to be able to carry enough momentum to get in, to that top six. Yeah, I just can't see teams like Pittsburgh or Baltimore or San Diego. Who are these other fringe teams to make the playoffs in the AFC? Houston, Indianapolis.
Yeah, it's so deep. Other ways, and now the newly surging Jaguars coming back with Nick Foles possibly. Texans trying to make it back. Like you said, the Los Angeles Chargers, the Chiefs. You still have to think about. The Steelers want to get back in it. Like you said, I said it earlier just when we were talking about it. I'm like, it would be nice to see maybe these guys can make the playoffs, but with so many other great teams in the AFC, it's going to be tough.
It is absolutely tough. So I saw on your ticker, it looked like you guys wanted to concentrate on the East, and I'm not trying to hold you still hostage. So if you want to cut me off, go ahead and cut me off. But
sure.
But the NFC East, okay, the slobber knocker division in the NFL, in my opinion, it's the number one ratings gainer in the entire NFL. So the league itself wants the NFC East to be successful, whether we all like it or not. Okay, I live in Washington.
Okay.
The Reds, I follow every team equally. The Redskins I hear about locally more than any others. They are just a steaming pile of business and football playing on the field garbage. Okay, they will never figure it out. They will continue to step on their own Johnsons year in and year out. This year is no exception. They have no answer at quarterback. I don't care how many young guys they draft. They do not have a coach that can coach. They don't have a general manager that can help out that coach, and they don't have an owner that can find a good general manager. So you can go ahead and cancel them out from winning any more than 5 games. As a matter of fact, I took the under at $500 at 6.5 wins, and I plan on going on vacation shortly after the season ends.
There you go.
So with that being said, you got Philadelphia, business as usual. Peterson is a very intelligent coach. He comes from Andy Reid. If you look at the moves he's made, he brought in Howard. They brought up Deshaun Jackson. Unfortunately, they let their golden goose go to Jacksonville. And my, oh my, they better hope and pray Carson Wentz stays standing up all year long, guys. New York.
Yeah, well, now they've got Josh McCown, their savior, there, so behind him. So watch out.
Oh well, yeah. Thank God for him.
Right?
Yeah.
But I hear what you're saying. Yeah, the NFL definitely would like this team to this division to play well. Yeah, absolutely. You've got the historic Giants in there, the America's team, quotes, Cowboys. Absolutely. And the Eagles, they're a likable team too. Doug Peterson coming from the Andy Reid tree. Yeah, absolutely. They went through and won their first Super Bowl, so that's definitely something to talk about. And so I can see that definitely as well. And we'll see what happens. There's a lot of headlines coming out of that division too, with not only the contract talks with the Cowboys, but the so-called quarterback duel with Eli Manning and Daniel Jones out there. So
that is not a controversy, guys.
Yeah. I know.
Eli Manning is going to start this season. I have a feeling he's going to play motivated and well. And they are going to pull the plug on Eli just like they pulled the plug on Kurt Warner when Eli was a rookie. Kurt Warner was 5-3 the year that Eli was a rookie, but they got pressure from the media, all right? And the owner said, all right, fine, do whatever. And they went ahead and pulled Kurt Warner off of the starting lineup to insert Eli to not make it to the playoffs that year. Okay, fine. Eli went on to beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl. Kudos. I just broke down a game where Kevin Gilbride's offense torched the New England Patriots Week 17 of that 2007 season. Okay, I literally just did this about an hour ago.
Mm-hmm.
But long story short, Eli understands what his job is right now. His job is to teach this young guy to take over his job. Okay, Eli is a smart guy. He's a classy guy, and he's a team player. They are lucky they have him, and people in New York ought to be grateful for the 2 titles that he has given that town.
Absolutely.
Because if his name wasn't Eli, they would have 0 titles. I guarantee it. All right, now with that being said, we will see this young quarterback on the field this year, and we will probably see him by mid-season. Okay, and that it will be off to the graveyard Eli goes, or probably to the XFL to reunite himself with Kevin Gilbride, by the way.
There you go.
Anyway, with that being said, let's take it on to Planet D. This is my big prediction for you guys that haven't heard this one. Here's a spoiler alert.
Okay.
Since Robert Kraft got in a little trouble down at that Rub and Tuck down in Florida.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I think the NFL is looking for a new darling. All right? And who better to sell? Who is more easier to sell the fans than America's team? I am not a Cowboys fan. All right? Let's get one thing straight. But Jason Witten is coming back. They allegedly have all this controversy at the skilled position players with Zeke wanting more money, and now Dak wants $40 million, or Cooper wants more money. Who knows who wants more money down in Dallas? Well, they just paid the guy who definitely deserves it in Gregory, that outside linebacker who's stacking everyone. All right. So with that being said, I think this is the year that Dallas walks away with this division running. Okay. And they control this thing from start to finish, regardless of who holds out. Okay.
There you go.
Because this looks to me like the year that they come in sneaking up on people. And you guys tell me what you think. I think Dallas is the team to beat in the NFC.
Oh, we just did our prediction. I picked Dallas, and then I went with Philadelphia after that, then the Giants and the Redskins. Do you agree with that?
Redskins dead last. Yes,
Yep,
I agree with that.
Yep, that's what we went with. Joe went with the Eagles, and then the Giants creeping up, and the Dallas Cowboys at third, and then the Redskins. So we have varying opinions there. We'll see how it goes, but it's still early on, and who knows what goes on with that division. They have a whole lot of season to play. But we appreciate you calling, definitely, and giving your input. Thanks so much, John. And come on the show anytime you want. Here, join in here on the comments and whatever. Excellent. We thank you for joining us tonight.
You're welcome to come on my shows anytime as well. Thanks for having
Excellent.
me.
No problem.
Excellent, John.
All right.
Have a good night.
Appreciate it. You too.
All right, John Turner right there. Holy moly.
There we go.
All right, dropping all kinds of dude. He was booking it. He was booking it for everything.
I like it. I mean, that was
Meanwhile-
it was pretty refreshing.
Yeah,
I'll
it was.
say that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we had a bunch of people chiming in here too. Sorry we didn't get to you guys, but we were really engaged with what John was talking about. And
let's catch up on the
yeah.
comments.
Swervo Gaming. I think he had just signed up. He said he likes the Giants schedule in his mind. Pokey fella says he likes the helmets that we have going on. Yes, I got a great deal on the helmets. I thought it was a good idea. Put them on, and those are all newly updated helmets too. So I mean, we're not fooling around up here. So he likes the mini helmets. He said it's cool and it's unique. First time he's ever seen something like that. I tried, and then you know what? Golic and Wingo tried to copy something like that too with their football field table they have. They had something similar. Yeah. And I actually built this table and stuff myself and designed it in this whole setup. Mm-hmm. So a lot of this all is all original. Le'Veon Bell, Swervo Gamer said it will be a different running back. Like he was agreeing with John. He said moving in slower. He isn't going to be like he was. You can't take a year off and expect to come back.
Correct.
Like nothing ever happened. Absolutely. Yasmin Madonna joins in with us with some comments with some fruit. That's awesome. And this was the best show in my mind, Swervo Gaming says.
Right.
Awesome, man. Yeah,
Excellent.
we had to, dude. we're supposed to be a 2-hour
Wait,
show. We
hold
were peaking on 3.5 hours right now, Joe.
All I gotta
we were
say-
getting that intense with our
Absolutely.
fans.
All I gotta say is Swervo Gaming. I think he thinks this is the best show because we talked about the Giants.
Maybe we did a lot of Giants talk. Let me know. But Pokey Fella here jumping in. This guy is lights out too. I like this guy. Move it in here. I love it. I love the comments.
I love all our know-it-alls.
Definitely, and amazing stuff, guys. Great show tonight, Jimmy and Joe. Have a good rest of your night. He says, think about the football on the no fantasy football draft.
That's right. He's all about it.
He wants to do a fantasy
draft.
football draft with us know-it-alls and you people out there. Pokey Fella's in on this. What do you think? Vince should hire John for the XFL, he says. There you go, right? Yeah, he's laying it down for him. And Swervo Gaming says, #Blue Man Group. Absolutely. If you guys don't know and you heard me talk about it before, I have a bet that Daniel Jones will not be the starter. If Daniel Jones is named the starter week 1 of the NFL regular season, I have to go to the local ESPN radio show and dress as Blue Man Group with a few other members of their media group. So I could potentially be on the radio dressed as Blue Man Group, and I'll come in and take video too and post it out here. So, but I am so confident that is not going to happen. So you won't be seeing me dressed up in all blue, and I will not shave my head. All right, book it, Vince. Pokey Fella says about Vince to hire John for the XFL. Definitely. He's still here, always here. Was going to go to bed, but got drawn in again. That's John.
Once you think
right
you're
in.
out, we pull you right back in.
Yeah. And John, like he said, he was making his point every time he was going in. He's like, oh, well, let me make my point here. But a lot to talk about here. He had a lot of different opinions, and that's what the show's about.
Yep.
He brought up a different view, and he thinks the
Different
Cowboys are going to run away with
views.
it. They could. We'll see what happens. Is everybody
go
going to get paid?
anyway.
Great points about the Jets. Yes, so we'll see. Like I said, the AFC is a tough division or a tough conference. A lot of good teams there. So you never know what's going to happen.
NFC as well. I think what the biggest thing is this season is there's so many changes. We're not really sure what some teams, how they're going to perform. Different coaching staffs, different philosophies, different players on different teams. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
But know-it-alls out there, we appreciate the support. Thank you very much. YouTube, God bless. Facebook,
Yes.
God bless. Periscope, God bless. If you are interested in talking more football, go ahead and smash the subscribe button on YouTube. Also hit the notification bell for any updated content. You can also follow us on Twitter at FB_no. And follow us for all the latest updated news and content there as well. But thanks, John. Thanks, Swervo Gaming. Thanks, Pokefella. Thanks, Mike Tackett. Thanks to all the know-it-alls out there. Even if you're just watching and didn't feel like commenting,
if
it's
you're
all
just
good.
lurking and stuff, that's cool too. I mean, I do that all the time. And yeah, definitely, I love the strength of the YouTube guys coming in here. Swervo, good night to all, and to all, good night. Absolutely. YouTube going strong. Yes, we just started on that platform, so let's help build that a bigger community. Excuse me. And thank you so much for joining us tonight. And
Spread the word. Spread the word, everybody.
All right, and thank you, Pokey Fella, too.
Excellent.
Good work. Excellent. And that's it. It was a 3.5-hour show, Joe. It's like
Nice.
almost
Up top.
midnight up here.
Let's go.
Oh, that was terrible. Let's do it again. Ready? Hit it up. Bam. There we go. All right. Thank you so much. We will see you guys next time.
Later, boys.
Join us next week from 8 till 10 Wednesday night for more Football on the No with Jim and Joe.